over here.
Oi!
Do they sit and watch the TV with the finger up their butt? Whoa, I'd love to know what Christians do for fun.
Rectum.
Read Bible in the corner while fondling their nuts. Whoa, I'd love to know what Christians do for fun. Toaster white and pasty from the fast food they eat. Inhaling bags of macaroni and cheese. Gun holes in the bed sheet just in case they reproduce. That's just about all they're allowed to do. I'd love to know. Ooh, I'd love to know. Do they get a swollen pud while cleaning out their gun? Whoa, I'd love to know what Christians do for fun. They polish up the fish on the tailgate of their truck. Whoa, I'd love to know what Christians do for fun. Sit and stand and eat and sit back down again and chew. Then wash it all down with a 12-pack of brew. Live a life of boredom, up to heaven you'll go. God only smiles upon boredom. I'd love to know. Hey, I'd love to know.
I'm not going to do that.
I don't blame you. 26 after 10. It's a sad day for the world, boys and girls, but you know what? Life goes on. We'll just keep plodding right along, you know?
Praise Jesus.
Praise Jesus, baby. That's where we've been going wrong. You know, the 4 million evangelical Christians who stayed home because of Bush's DUI back 4 years ago. That was revealed only a matter of days before the election. They said, oh, he ain't for us. He's a sinner.
Right.
Now, 4 years later, that he cleaned up his act and ain't boozing it up no more, allegedly, or snorting no more coke, even though he's sending kids off to be killed every day and killing innocent Iraqis and other people, all of these things, even though he was AWOL in the guard, all of these things. He's a good Christian. He's one of us, baby. So they did a masterful job. They got out there 4 million evangelical Christians who were all lined up there. Here, you people in the media, man, you're crazy people. You haven't got any idea what you're talking about. The exit polling crowd, again, and John Zogby, man, throw them off a balcony somewhere, a whole bunch of them. They haven't got any idea what they're talking about. They have your whole song and a dance, and, at 5 o'clock, Zogby's telling us Kerry's going to win with 311 electoral votes. He's going to win Florida. He's going to win Ohio. Yeah. Try interior decorating, Zogby. It might be something up your alley, okay? Or maybe just put something up your alley. The whole bunch of them, man, they don't know their ass from your elbow. So we're going to do both breaks this hour, I guess, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, that's good. That'll give us something to do, kill some time, because we don't officially get into the show at 11 o'clock. And at that point, we can let all the Bush lovers call in. Oh, how do you like it now, Neil? How do you guys like it? Yeah. Well, we still get paid on time, you know, once in a while on time.
For the time being.
Within a few days. Kind of like the election results, you know. If you don't get them on election day, then within a few days you'll know what's going on. Like our paychecks.
Until they stuff us in a boxcar.
Hey, right now I want to tell you about my friends at Guaranteed Mortgage Bankers in Deerfield Beach with over 275 different mortgage programs available to them. They will find a mortgage for you no matter what your situation is. There goes that crazy phone again, by the way. They recently helped out a listener of ours who never thought he'd be able to qualify to buy his own home. Not only were they able to qualify him, they were able to present him 3 options as to the type of mortgage he could get, and they worked closely with him to determine which was best, and then they made it happen. Guaranteed Mortgage Bankers. Call them in Deerfield Beach toll-free. It's 1-800-734-6616. Whether you're looking for an interest-only loan, a 30-year fixed rate, or one of the many low-rate adjustable mortgages, Guaranteed Mortgage Bankers in Deerfield Beach has what you need. They offer payments as low as $332 for every $100,000 you borrow, folks. Guaranteed Mortgage Bankers in Deerfield Beach can make it happen as far as having a good time for you, too, not just your mortgage, because they'll even send you on a cruise. That is correct. After you close your loan with these folks, Guaranteed Mortgage Bankers Deerfield Beach, you can choose one of 6 different 7-night cruises, compliments of Guaranteed Mortgage Bankers. Whether you're looking to purchase a new home, an investment property, or just refinance that current mortgage, you're going to want to do business with these folks. They're great. Call 1-800-734-6616, or on the wicked web, it's guaranteedmortgagebankers.com, where they'll treat you just like family. Guaranteed Mortgage Bankers in Deerfield Beach at 1-800-734-6616.
The Howard Stern Show. Neil Rogers, mornings and middays. And sports around the clock. 560 QAM.
A stench of cow manure hovers over this performance by the Dolphins.
Absolutely.
My religion's better than your religion. My religion's better than yours. My beliefs are what's required to avoid a lake of fire. My religion's better than yours.
My religion's better than your religion. My religion's better than yours. Why, my religion advocates bigotry and racial hate. My religion's better than yours.
Oi!
My religion's better than your religion. My religion's better than yours. What we like about it best, I fondle boys and wear a dress. My religion's better than yours. My religion's better than your religion. My religion's better than yours. We have no respect for women. Drive a cab to make a living. My religion's better than yours. My religion's better than your religion. My religion's better than yours. Chupacabra, spooky ghosts, we slaughter pigs and dogs and goats. My religion's better than yours. My religion's better than your religion. My religion's better than yours. Yeah. We wear beanies and pigtails and never ever pay retail. My religion's better than yours. My religion's better than your religion. My religion's better than yours. We knock on doors to bother you like Fuller Brush to spew our views. My religion's better than yours.
My religion's better than your religion. My religion's better than yours. We wear ties and ride our bikes and get to marry lots of wives. My religion's better than yours.
My religion's better than your religion. My religion's better than yours.
Yes.
We don't want to use our brains. We're mindless living on parade. My religion's better than yours.
Well, good for you. And by the way, Coxahoys, it's 10:35, 25 before 11 at 560 WQM. We got the Mad Dog, Jim Mandich at 2. We got the Humper, the Thumper, the Bumper.
Hey, stupid!
At 4, Hank Goldberg. We got Geldy at Smoky Bones in Boca at 7 o'clock tonight. That ought to be real exciting. And Eddie K at 10. No ball games, no hockey games, no games. There just ain't nothing going on, you know what? Plus, we don't have the heat.
Yeah.
So, we just got a regular pristine schedule. There's nothing going on for a long time now. Baseball's over. Football. Like I said, we ain't got nothing going on. Football. You call that a football team?
No.
Holy moly, man. So we'll survive, but I think we need to re-examine there's no sense in batting our head against the wall anymore, okay?
Right. No.
After they keep banging you with a baseball bat the first 50,000 times, by the 50,001st time, you got to finally start getting a message like, okay, let's try something else. This ain't working. America's lost. There's no question about that. The U.S. of A. has had it. Country that a lot of us once knew and loved and cared about, but quite frankly, it's escaped us now. All the religious nuts, the right-wing fanatics, they've taken it over. See, Karl Rove, you got to hand it to him no matter what you think, what your politics are, who you voted for, who you rooted for. They were really clever in using that gay marriage thing. Behind the scenes, they kept saying, oh, nobody really cares about that one, and they tried that trial balloon there in the Congress. That didn't go anywhere. But behind the scenes, man, see, as soon as the exit polling started showing in this business about moral values was the number one issue with the Bush people, then you started thinking to yourself, uh-oh, there's a chigger in the woodpile here somewhere. Yeah, better check that all out. What's that all about? Because nobody, when they kept talking about, well, it was either terrorism or Iraq or the economy or your mama, something. But nobody said it was moral values.
Right.
So this goes to show you again. And that show that they had on CNN, for once, I'll give them credit where credit is due, and it's very rare in their case because there's very little real news on that network. But the timing of showing that thing about religion and politics, whatever they called it, last weekend, which they showed about how many times?
About 30, man.
Yeah. That was where it's at. That's it. You got the mesmerized masses out there, baby. God appointed George W. And, of course, that's a very scary thing, which makes some of us very, very happy that we spend a minimal amount of time in the U.S., eh? Very minimal time. Just enough to stay legal, and that's it. Pretty scary. So I think that from this day forward, we better stop wasting our time. And, of course, the election is... they can scream and holler about Ohio. Well, why don't they just get it over with already, okay?
Right.
They got 135,000 vote lead. I kept waiting for those. I stayed up till 2 something in the morning.
Wow.
Waiting and waiting and waiting for them to cut into that lead, and all the late votes from Cuyahoga County and Cleveland are coming in. All them Schwarzes up there voted, and from over here and over there, and nothing ever happened. And they kept talking a good game, the Kerry people, and the only problem was the votes kept counting. It went from 110,000 to 124,000 to 135,000. He kept getting further and further behind. So they can talk about provisional ballots and absentee ballots until the cows come home. They lost. And, of course, there are those people. I've heard all kinds of stories. A friend of mine told me he voted in Florida yesterday, and he punched the machine the first time, Kerry, and then nothing happened. He punched it again, and nothing happened. He punched it a third time, and it registered Bush. And he called the poll worker over, who didn't know his ass from my elbow, and he's just cleared it, and they started all over again, and he punched English on the thing, and it came up in Espanol. And so they're banging on that thing to get it back to English, and finally voted for Kerry, and hopefully maybe it counted, who knows. Yeah. So there are going to be people talking about the fixes in. You know what? That's your America, baby, where the whole world has to monitor because they don't trust America for an honest election anymore. And keep in mind that the head of Diebold there was saying, we're going to deliver Ohio to President Bush. That's what he said, and guess what? Maybe that's what they did. We'll never know. When you're dealing with computers, man, there's no way. There's no way to trace it. Right?
That's it.
No paper trail. Nice and neat. And you see who got reelected also to Congress again last night?
Who?
Katherine Harris.
Oh, yeah, well.
So this idea that the people are really fired up and pissed off and they're going to really... Yeah, they showed up all right, but the problem is a lot of the wrong people. And that myth about the young people voting, the 18 to 29... See, all of this crap that we were given and were fed was a line of garbage. There were tons of people showing up all right. They were highly motivated because the Lord told them to show up.
Jesus Christ.
Right, he probably told them. He gave them a message. He said, here, I'm going to, just like Joey Zaza, I'm going to send you a message. Right. And that was it. So the people are going to whine, cry, well, we got stolen from us. You see, when you're going to win an election, if you win by enough, then you don't have to worry about things like that. But the fact of the matter is that they didn't. And they wasted a lot of capital right there during and right after the Democratic Convention. Remember those days? See, I'm doing the show now, and I shouldn't be doing this because we usually don't start till 11 o'clock. But I want to get this over with because in days to come, we can go back to having more fun, although we can't play any farts. I'm going to read the Tom Zicker column from Saturday. Thanks to Fat Boy. Thanks, Fat Boy. Because I had missed that column from Saturday's Scum Sentinel.
Hiya, Towie!
I guess because I was out of town, so I didn't see it. Thanks, by the way, to Tom Zicker for very nice words. I don't know why he likes me so much. And not that I dislike him, I just dislike what he writes. Because he always misquotes me and gets everything wrong. But he means well, you know, he's kind of benign. Right?
Yeah, he's bald and stupid.
He is bald. Well, he is bald and he's stupid. He admits that. Here's a fax that says, and by the way, don't send us any more gloating faxes, all you bushlickers out there. We're not interested because they're not going to make it up here. George is going to not even read them anymore, but he's going to schmick-can them. You won. Congratulations to you. Yeah. I cry for us, for the rest of the world. All over the world, they're like in mourning now because only enough Americans are stupid enough to put this bozo back in there again.
A lot of people are going to die, and let's have a
party.
That's
right. A lot of innocent people are going to die. And like I said, you people that voted for Bush, you got a lot of blood on your hands. The only good piece of news, thanks to my good friend Steve Wolf at Pompano Park, there's a little bit of hope for something anyway. Because I kept watching all night long that, you know, I'm watching the votes on the amendments, and it's kind of like most of the time that there's a whole bunch of amendments or issues on a ballot, people just go in and they vote yes, 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 and they just go down the list. But in this case, they voted yes, yes, yes on everything, including the first three, which had no business having yes. And then number 4, other than Dayton, Broward, and maybe Palm Beach, they voted overwhelmingly no. Now, I want you to think about how stupid that is, okay? These are and this bears out what I said about the religious fanatics being the ones who voted in droves yesterday, especially in a redneck state like Florida. The Bible thumpers. Mm-hmm. Here you're going to give their kids, you're going to give them enormous amounts, millions of dollars. It's divvied up statewide, 67 counties. It's in writing that you're going to get that money every single year from the revenue from these slots. But no, we don't want that because we're born-again Christians, after all, and gambling is evil, and your mama, and unless it's church bingo, the God gets really pissed off. I mean, there's no way it would have affected them in any way except in a positive way. If they don't ever want to come to Dayton-Broward, I'm sure that most people in Dayton-Broward would be happy not to have them show up. That's fine. Nobody's going to reach out and drag them and put them on a bus and ship them in and drag them to the casino, to the racetrack, to the slots. Just amazing. But anyway, the good news on that is that even though it looks like right now it's still behind by 6,800 votes, and I thank Steve Wolf for faxing me this. It's about the only good piece of news I had in the last 24 hours. There's a missing 2%, and he says it's a major factor because it's the absentee ballots for Dade.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and of course in Dayton, Broward passed overwhelmingly. So once they count those, they're only 6,800 short. And then it says, I have no idea when they're going to be counting the absentee ballots in Dade County. Sure, it would be nice. Of course, we know that the history of that some very strange things happen.
Yeah.
Like that fixed election on the Metro Rail many years ago that we lived through, some of us. We know that election was fixed. You're not fooling us. So I guess this all depends on, whose ox is being gored and who's going to slip in the Mickey, so to speak, and who's, making damn sure that we don't get those evil one-armed bandits in there, because that would be really bad for, like, Mickey Arison and for the Indians and for the Bahamas people and all the other special interests, not because they're holier than thou, but because they're protecting their own financial interest, and they know that they're going to lose a lot of money. And when you're only worth $9 billion, you can't afford to lose a lot of money. It says the lawyers will duke it out for days after they actually count the votes, says Steve Wolf. May not know till next week, but we feel very strong for a very slight victory, he says, on Amendment 4. Well, let's cross our fingers and legs on that, so don't despair on there. But isn't that something? Once again, it passed overwhelmingly in Dayton-Broward. But the rest of the state continues determining your fate, what it's all about. I'm thinking 2008. It's going to be either Jeb Bush or Rudy Giuliani. Right?
Rudy. I'm thinking Rudy.
One or the other. Maybe Jeb. The House of Bush.
Mm-hmm.
And on the other side, I have no idea. Let's see. It says, why carry lost freaking kids? Sure, when they're pressured by their peers to register, when someone is in their face asking them to get out to vote, they step up to the plate. But the selfish, lazy, dumb, why would they want this guy? Dumb. As in President Dumbschmidt, is that the one they're talking about? A stupid geek like this?
Something like
it says, well, I did all I could for 4 years, became a political junkie. I tried to convince undecided voters, argued with right-wingers, wound myself into a state of hysteria, and now it's all over. They won. The religious right controls our country, and whoever wrote this is...
Absolutely correct, sir.
There's nothing I can do now. I can't spend another 4 years of political hysteria, making myself crazy. I aged 8 years in the last 4. I'm going back to 24/7 sports because there's nothing I can do about Iraq, health insurance, prescription drugs, oil companies, Halliburton, tax breaks for the rich, lost jobs, deficits, the destruction of the environment, censorship, etc., etc. I'm finished with it all. They won. I'm sickened and embarrassed to be an American, says this faxer. How do you like that? And he's right. We're going to go back to 24/7 sports.
Right.
That's what we need. Let's stop at all of this political crap and all this other, we're just farting into a windstorm. We need a lot more.
Sports.
That's it. That's what, she's right, man.
Sports.
Right. I'll get to that Tom Jick article, by the way, once the show starts official after 11 o'clock.
Okay.
And then we can talk about...
Sports.
Oh, that's right. I'm forgetting we have several appointments for this hour. What? We have several callers who booked appointments this hour, and I'm rambling on, and I really don't want to ramble on. I just as soon sit here and not say anything today because I didn't get enough sleep.
Right.
And depressed, but I mean, the depression became obvious right after 8 o'clock after they built up our hopes. Mm-hmm. And then everything kind of like turned around. It looked like real euphoria for the anti-Bush crowd. And then all of a sudden, oh, well, guess what? We lied. We lied. The exit polling people lied. The pollsters lied. All the mavens lied. The pundits, they're full of crap. They don't know their ass from their elbow. A lot of asses and a lot of elbows. You notice that? WQAM, hello. QAM.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
I got to ask you, does Amendment 3 mean that we're going to see less Jews on the back of bus benches?
Oi!
Oh, God. That was good. We needed that, you know what? And by the way, I hate to break the news to Willie Brown and Andrea Mitchell on MSNBC, but the Jews voting for Bush wasn't the reason that Bush won Florida by about almost 400,000 votes, okay, you idiots? I mean, just the inane things that are being said. They come back here, it's like the votes from Broward and from South Florida hadn't even been counted yet, and already they're trying to come up to concoct reasons as to why Bush is doing so much better this time than they did last time in Florida. Because them religious nuts, baby, them Christian evangelicals, that's where it's all at. The God Squad, the holy rollers, the hypocrites, the phony balonies, they like a gosh darn coke snorter. They're having a rip-snorting good time. They like a guy that took his girlfriend to have an abortion in Texas years ago. Drove her right to the abortion doctor. Paid for it.
Yeah, but he's been shaved.
He's been shaved. That's why he's killing off all these innocent people over there. That's why he's going to send your kids over there to die, if not in Iraq and some other cockamamie war that he and his neo... He's just a puppet. He's just they got a bunch of puppeteers behind him there. You got your Cheney and you got Wolfowitz and Richard Pearl and Rumsfeld, who's crazier than a bedbug. But you see, none of these things had anything to do with the margin of victory. Moral values. And where did that come from? Strictly the evangelical Christians, baby. They own you. WQAM, hello.
All that reading did a lot of good, didn't it?
WQAM, hello. Yeah, I liked it. QAM, hello.
Mm-hmm. Neil.
Yes, sir.
What's going on, Pally?
In fact, in our listening audience, Kerry won in a landslide, so it probably did do a lot of good. How you doing, sir?
Hey, I'm thinking maybe if Kerry's speech would have kept her mouth shut, he would have came out winning. What do you think?
If Kerry's what?
It's Kerry's speech, that catch-up loving whore.
Oh, yeah, if Teresa would have kept her mouth shut, that would have had nothing to do with it. Oh, I would imagine, just like we went from French fries and French toast to freedom fries and freedom toast, probably Hunt's ketchup would become very popular now. No more Heinz. No more Heinies. WQAM, hello.
Neil?
Yes, sir.
How are you?
I'll survive.
Hey, isn't it ironic that
I looked up trainees.
What is it? Speak to me, sir. Come on, you can do it.
Isn't it ironic that we're over there fighting to give them people free elections and we can't even work?
Okay, get a new phone, okay? I think there's a new...
the
born-agains will bring you a new cell phone. Of course, they'll be tapping it, listening to it. It's got a direct line to Jesus. WQAM, hello.
Hey, Neil, how you doing?
Yes, sir. I'm doing great.
Can you hear me?
I hear you loud and moderate.
I'm trying to get a little quick here. Hold on.
That's fine. Thank you so much. That's twice I laughed. It's not even 11 o'clock. The show hasn't even officially started, and I laughed. I never thought I'd laugh again. It is so sad what America has become. And you wonder why the rest of the world is scared schmittless of America. It's not just because of one man.
No.
This whole religious fanatical thing, and I'll say it again, like I said Monday, and I said it again yesterday, I'm glad I said it. Little beady-eyed Lindsey Graham, that Yahoo drooling South Carolina Republican, he inadvertently put his thumb right on it. We're fighting religious fanaticism. That's not just in Iraq, not just in the Middle East, not just in Afghanistan, all over the world. Religious fanatics, since the beginning of recorded time. The religious fanatics, the crazy people, the killing people, the hateful people. I don't think I finished my thought before when I said Karl Rove, they put 11 states had the anti-gay marriage thing on a ballot, which we kept hearing that's not an issue with anybody. Well, of course, with the born-agains, it's a big issue. And guess what one of the states was that had it? Well, I'll give you all of them. And, of course, the amendments won by a huge margin. Just like if they were having civil rights, can black people vote on a ballot in the South again? It wouldn't by a huge margin. They'd say, no, not a good idea. Arkansas, which we thought Bubba was going to put carry over the top, maybe, didn't come close. Georgia, Kentucky, Michigan. Now, Michigan somehow, by 3 points, carryover came that. Probably a lot of Schwarzers in Detroit voted, thank God. Mississippi, Montana, North Dakota, Oklahoma, Ohio, Utah, and Oregon. Now, I don't want to be a gambling guy, but I bet you that Greg Reed's life on it, that if that wouldn't have been on the ballot in Ohio, that might have kept a few 100,000 born-agains away. They're highly motivated to come out and vote on something like that. We don't want no fag marriages here in, Cincinnati, in the Queen City. You ever been to Lima, Ohio? I keep asking you that. Don't ever go there.
No.
See, because Southern Ohio, once you get out of Cleveland, and then maybe a couple of pockets here and there, and of course do not go there.
I've been there.
No. It's a jungle. But, what? It's just a tough place. But the rest of that state, forget about it. So the fact that he came that close is kind of miraculous. But, again, I think that the fag marriage thing on a ballot, that's what put them over the top. So nice going Karl Rove, man. He never found an election he couldn't steal. He's got a long track record of that. He's the best. Even though a lot of us hate him like poison and hate what he's doing to the country and to the world, but nevertheless, you got to hand it to him. WQAM, hello.
Neil Gunn.
Speaking.
Sad day in America.
Sad day for the world, baby.
Yes, it is. Howard had on the other day a Ku Klux Klan member, and he was asking him about the Klan, that he thought it was almost out of business. And the guy said, no, it's going underground. People are tired of losing their jobs and, and stuff, so the Klan's going underground. And it really seems to me that's exactly what's going on with our government.
Yeah.
It's a secret underground Klan, religious, homophobic freaks. And I mean, I'm 40 years old. I have a son that's 10, and I'm so scared for our country. It's just where to go now.
Move to Vancouver, baby. You'll love it there.
It's gonna get worse. I guarantee it. I can't believe they can't see the trend.
Yeah. Well, but you say they can't see the trend. What the hell are they going to do about it?
Yeah, I don't think they care. I think they're just care as long as homosexuals are not getting married. As long as God's out there, they don't care about the economy. They don't care about the money.
Don't forget, these are a lot of these people are the Armageddon crowd. They think that all the stuff that's happening now it's good. It's good stuff because it was it was forecast.
Absolutely, they're
Bill
praying
before
for
he
it.
got busted.
They're begging for it. Well, we are in big trouble. I guarantee you, within the next 4 years, we're going to be even more divided country, and it might come to civil war at one point.
Well, you know what you said? I said it the other day. America is now two different countries. You got the living and breathing people, and you got the hypnotized born-agains who used to be the lunatic fringe on the far right, and now they're running the country. They've taken over, man.
And I don't know how much longer a guy like me could take it and half our country. It's going to get to the point where we're going to have to draw the line, and if we have to kill our neighbor, what are we going to do? You know what I mean? It's going to get so bad where we're
Isn't that
all
what
broke.
Jesus said, kill thy neighbor? Something like that. Okay, calm down, pal. Calm down. You're a little out of control. A little over the top.
Although.
Yeah. He's going to bring us together, the Bushmaster. Yeah. He's going to bring America together. He's going to make us, he's a compassionate conservative. He don't like them fags and Jews and Sparksers and things like that. But that's just the way it goes, boys and girls. It's a bitter pill to swallow. But swallow it. Yeah. We're not going to do that till 11 o'clock. I'm almost tempted to start doing the regular show. I already got such a headache like you wouldn't believe. I may have to call in sick now.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. Oh. I just didn't get enough sleep. I don't know why the hell. And not only did I stay up till 2, but then once I went to bed, I couldn't sleep because I'd keep getting up and running in the. I have a TV in my room, but it's a crappy TV, so I ran in the living room and turned the King.
Oh my God! Jesus on the stick of Oliver. I saw him on the side of a taco and the hubcaps on my car. I saw him in a bowl of spaghetti in the side of the smucker's jar. Yes, I saw Jesus on the stick of Oliver. All right. I saw Jesus on the stick of Oliver. I saw him on a pop-up toaster in the seat of my car. All my friends think I'm nuts down at the redneck bar, 'cause I saw Jesus on the stick of Oliver. I'm dying over here. There he is again.
Yeah, just get back in your box, okay, for bugging us. It's 11:04, 560 WQAM, a moderate Wednesday to you, November 3rd, the day after the debacle. Okay, yesterday on the poll, we did the thing about which state do you think is going to have the greatest impact. And the top two, of course, Florida and Ohio, which you had asked backward because Florida was never even really close, in spite of the fact that CNN was just desperately hanging on because they didn't want to get burned again. So they waited, and I have no idea why they waited. I mean, just simple math. When you're 300,000 votes ahead and there's like about 20,000 votes to count, it's just somewhere along the line, there's no reason to really be all that nervous. See what I'm saying? Look at that. There he is. Yeah. Oh, my God. It's just scary, you know?
He'll be nicer this time around.
No, he will not. Now he's got nothing to... Now he can do it with impunity because you don't have to face the voters again. So he and his neocons can do whatever the hell they want. They already said that. They were talking about that yesterday. All the crap that... And, of course, now they got picked up another seat in the Senate. Although it's still pending because the Betty Castor thing is all pending a recount. Look how much better she did in Florida than Kerry did. Now, how do you explain that?
I don't know.
It must be the anti-Julio factor up with all them rednecks.
Mm-hmm.
A guy named Mel Martinez. Although we once said Bobby Martinez was the governor, maybe that explains it. They don't want another Martinez.
Mel has a discernible Spanish accent, and Bob had a good old boy accent.
Oh, Bob was like Dracula.
Right.
Anyway, yesterday's poll, what's the point of even talking about it? Florida and Ohio, they said. That's where it was going to be. Ohio was it, and still continues to be it if you believe that Kerry's going to make up a 135,000 vote deficit with the 45 absentee ballots and provisional. It's just pointless. I don't know what the hell they're doing. I don't know why they're doing this. It's over. You lost, John. And like I started to say before, but I didn't want to waste the good material before 11 o'clock, if they would have really started... If Howard Dean would have been the candidate, he'd have won by 15 points. Because even with all these evangelical Christians who came out, who made the difference nationwide like crazy, in spite of that, Dean would have motivated enough other people, and then the young people really would have showed up, who we got... we were told they were going to show up. Did they show up? No. No, they did not. Do you know that even Mother Tucker Carlson predicted that Kerry was going to win by 2 points?
Mm-hmm.
How do you like that?
Yep.
Everybody got bum information. On exit polling, we got sucked in. And I'm sure for Tucker Carlson, it wasn't the first time. Here's a fact that says the world is weaning. Well, first, to beat the curtain today is Andrea Thompson. Who? Andrea Thompson was born in Dayton, Ohio, baby, which is perfect with Ohio being at the center of attention right now. And don't ever go to Lima, Ohio. Okay. Nothing could be finer than to get out of Lima. She was born January 6, 1960, makes her 44. Sometimes credited as Andrea Thompson Kelly, Rebecca Andrea Thompson, or just plain old Rebecca Thompson. Here's some of her flicks. Rockets, Red Glare, Sweetheart Swindlers, Lost Valley, Encounter in the Third Dimension. I think we're having an encounter in the third dimension right now. A car blonde. Captain Simeon and the Space Monkeys. Speaking of smirking chimps. Babylon 5, Delirious. Oh, but these are all perfect for today. She was on Falcon Crest.
I had no idea.
Your favorite, Lorenzo Lamas, was on Falcon Crest back in the day when he used to look really, really good. Doing Time on Planet Earth, Hot Splash, Wall Street, Manhattan Gigolo, and Nightmare Weekend. And also she was in Mother.
Huh?
Your mama. Well, she's been in tons of stuff. Anyway, here's a fax that says, do I want to give today's poll? Yeah, we'll do today's poll first. Which applies to your feelings about the election result? That's our poll question today. Glad it's over. And it is over, even though, glad it's over.
Right.
Suicidal, ecstatic, indifferent, pleased, pissed off, or what result? For those who still are a little unsure. I think I covered, and I wrote this before I went to bed. What applies to your feelings about the election result? Glad it's over. Suicidal, as in, let's play Russian roulette with a fully loaded gun. Ecstatic, indifferent, pleased, pissed off, and what result? In other words, it ain't over till it's over, or whatever.
Right.
It's over. Here's a fellow, now they got Rick Sanchez on there, it's really over. Oh, boy.
Mm-hmm.
Why do we have to...
Roby was right.
Holy moly. We are doomed. Yeah, and I don't want to say this to you because it sounds like, like I'm sitting here in Toronto looking out at a beautiful sunny day when it's only 43 degrees, but nevertheless it's sunny. No, it's beautiful. And America's doomed. You are doomed. In fact, right there's Arnold. Arnold is the governor of California. What does that tell you? You got a two-bit movie actor who can't even speak English, who's the governor of the largest state in the country. And then you got a bozo, a dimwit, a smirking chimp, who's dumber than sawdust. And, of course, if you're a good religionist like all these evangelical Christians that voted yesterday, you got to respect the guy that wears a hidden wire so they can be coached in 3 debates and break the rules and lie through his teeth.
It's irrelevant.
Yeah, that's right.
He says
that I bet you Jesus was under that jacket.
Jesus Christ.
That's who was hiding in there. Because Jesus can take any form he wants,
Right.
Which is why sometimes the Virgin Mary appears on the side of a bank building, like in Conyers, Georgia, or up there in the Panhandle. See, these are the hallucinatory lunatics. They're crazy. They just made up. It's just a made-up thing. There was never any such thing. And then and then of course they started Richard Viguerie and the mailing lists, and they got them all, and then of course the TV evangelist Jimmy Swaggart and Pat Robertson with his 700 Club, and then Jan and Paul Crotch. Paul who knows something about crotches and not necessarily female, and all of these other goyim. And it just snowballed into this jargon. And the fact that he called Pat Robertson a liar, and he told Pat Robertson there wouldn't be any casualties if we invaded Iraq, that didn't seem to faze these people in the least. No, what does Pat know anyway, right? He's small potatoes. Jesus told the W to go in there and do it. That's what it's all about. Jesus himself told W. He's inspired by God, and it sure as hell is not. Not this one. Now, we did a fine job here ourselves. Dayton, Broward, and Palm Beach did just fine. Yeah. I checked the county by county. Mm-hmm. So this business about that moron, that chronic regular, that mouth-breathing jackass. Yeah, we did really well. In fact, if we could have been all over the country, which is when we get to that JICA column, something to think about, could have probably made an impact, you know what? Because most people, unfortunately, were not exposed to all of those stories, all of the facts, all the real stuff, what's going on. All they do is watch the pablum that's spoon-fed to them, especially by CNN and Fox right-wing Nazi News and MSNBC, which nobody watches anyway. And now that Fox had such great success, for the last year and a half, it's been the other... Why make any pretense anymore? The Fox logo now on Fox News just ought to be a swastika, just a twisted cross. Just stick it on there. You know how all the networks have their little emblem, the logo on the screen? Put it in the corner there,
just modify the X a little bit.
Not fooling anybody. That's right. Make the X into a twisted cross.
Yeah.
Good idea. A fact that says the world as we know it has come to an end. The religious right will end women's rights, eliminate free speech, and force gays into hiding to avoid persecution. We can only hope that the new selection to the Supreme Court will be moderate enough, to not attempt rewriting the Constitution entirely. I, for one, fear the legacy will have to leave our children. Yeah, the appointments are not going to be moderate. In fact, they made it very clear, especially now that they expanded their lead in the Senate, that they're going to put in all right-wing judges, man. They're going to go ahead and do their thing now that they got the keys to the kingdom. And they do. Even poor Tom Daschle up there in South Dakota. He took it right in the old keister,
Yeah.
Look at this. I'm crossing out. I've almost got the last break in this hour crossed out already. We're going to take thousands and thousands of calls today. We already took some really like a prank. I thought maybe it was April 1. But, every year around my birthday time, which is Friday, every year bad things happen. So I think I'm going to, take off. Huh? No, it's true. I think that's with everybody. In fact, that's why so many people die on their birthday, like Ma. Died right on her 91st birthday. Right. And the only reason she made it that long is just to make me a liar, because I kept saying 90's old enough.
Uh-huh.
Well, guess what? I'll show you.
Yeah.
And then she went, and that was it. 11:13. Well, I'm sure glad she don't have to see this, man. Oh. Isn't that a great rationalization? I'm sure glad Ma don't have to be around to see what we just witnessed this last 24 hours and are still witnessing now. Senator Kerry calls Bush to concede.
To speak this afternoon, 1 o'clock, Faneuil Hall. So with that?
There you go. We'll put that on a little bit. Senator Kerry just conceded. Hey, if you want to know more about... Boy, we're on top of stuff, you know what? How's Neil going to keep in touch? Hey, don't knock Tom Jicka, man. He wrote good stuff about me, and I'm going to read that when we come back from Saturday's column. And he's got a very good point. You see, when the people you work for don't appreciate what you do, when they treat you like crap and jerk you all around, you're not too inclined, even though we made a very nice offer to them to extend for 2 more years a few weeks ago, but, when you're dealing with petulant children who act like overgrown and spoiled brats, it's kind of hard to do business with people like that. So thanks for doing me a very big favor, Greg. 14 past 11 at QAM. Hey, if you want to know more about following a low-carb diet, if you want the best-tasting, biggest selection of low-carb foods at the best price, a store you will absolutely fall in love with, it's Delights of West Boca, because the entire store is dedicated to yous, all you fat folks out there. Whether you're starting or restarting the Atkins, the Sugar Busters, the South Beach, any low-carb, sugar-free diet, Delights of West Boca continues to be the #1 low-carb store in South Florida, where you get variety, things with some taste, things to keep you on that straight and narrower path. If you want to do business with people who offer you the friendly knowledge that they have about low-carb dieting, give you the lowest prices in town, then this is the place, your low-carb headquarters, Delights of West Boca, where you'll find over 1,200 products in stock like Carbolite ice cream, breads and pasta, chocolates, brownies, cookies, and lots more. They're open every day, 7 days a week, 10 a.m. to 10 p.m., and you'll find Delights on the northeast corner of Glades and 441, right next to Boston Market. Call them toll-free at 1-877-LOW-CARB, that's with a W. Oh, everything now is going to be with a W. Or on the web, it's lowcarb.com. Don't forget, there's only one Delights of West Boca, your official Atkins Retail Center.
You're listening to Neil Rogers exclusively on 560 QAM.
Push back the move.
All right.
Two-step.
Oh.
Two-step. Close your mind to what we tell you. Two-step.
Now listen, I don't know if there's anything in here. Is there something in here?
I don't know.
Okay, we'll play it in.
Two-step.
Just keep your finger on your knob.
Yeah. Usually is.
I don't think we had to worry about any words in there because I couldn't understand any.
They're
totally unintelligible. Goose step, that's all I understood.
Right.
That's all you need to understand. I got inspired to play that because I got a fax here. It says I'm going to goose step along, start going to church, and stockpiling guns. Now you're talking.
That might be a smart move to start stockpiling guns.
I'm going to protect my trailer from them Muslims, commies, Jews, Schwarzers, and queers. It doesn't say Schwarzers. It's got the N-word, which I certainly am not going to read. P.S. You better watch Sopranos reruns now because within 4 years they'll censor HB.
Oh!
Howard Stern goes to satellite radio in January 2005. How long till they censor that, too? Oh, I'd say a few minutes.
About 30 minutes.
Now, excuse me while I go vomit this faction. Don't be doing that. Don't be making a mess. Now, interestingly enough, don't blame the Schwarzers, just aforementioned, for this election turnout, because didn't I tell you that it wasn't going to happen all that, though? He's going to get double the vote among blacks. Well, it didn't happen. Bush was doing as poorly with blacks as he did last time, getting only about 1 in 10. His performance with black voters in 2000 was the worst for any Republican presidential candidate since Barry Goldwater got only 6% in 1964 against LBJ. Kerry also led among Hispanic voters, but the gap was closer, and Bush made some progress on that front, getting 40% of their votes or a bit higher. Remember they said he needed to get at least 30% of the Latino vote nationwide?
Right.
He got 40%. Kerry had a 15-point lead over Bush with Hispanics, about half the margin that Al Gore enjoyed in 2000. How do you like that? Wow. And it goes on about this one did this and this one did that. There you go. So we got, and of course, New Mexico. That was the Hispanics a big factor there. And Bush won New Mexico. Although I don't think they actually declared it, but he is going to win New Mexico and Iowa.
Yeah.
And what were the other ones? I guess that's the big one. Arizona. Not that he ever had a chance there. Or Colorado. Lost all those. But, and I don't see the relationship between, well, maybe it was a Catholic thing, maybe the local priest told them that we got
Jeb Pikipani.
We got a baby-killing liberal that you better vote against. That must have been it. But I'm going to say it again. Howard Dean, I think, would have, because, see, Howard Dean, they couldn't have nailed him.
Right.
With that waffling thing, number one, because he was against the war right from the beginning. They couldn't have nailed him with all that Swift boat stuff, which is just unbelievable that anybody bought into that, but nevertheless, it had its impact.
Sure.
And they could never have nailed him on that business about voting for it and against it, the $87 billion for the troops, because he was never a member of the Congress, so he didn't vote for or against it. So, I think he would have kicked ass, and right from the beginning, he would have come out, taken the gloves off, and really kicked ass as opposing to what they did after the convention. Oh, we're not going to do that. We're not going to go on the attack. And then come to find out that America loved the attack ads.
Yeah.
Even the talking heads were all talking about that the last couple of days. That's what they liked. Little pea and vinegar, whatever goes with that vinegar.
Vim
and vinegar, that's right. But they just didn't get it. I mean, they came on strong there toward the end, but they ran out of steam. And, of course, it's kind of... And then, of course, sucking up to that same thing about, well, his faith and the devout this and devout... In case you just tuned in, it is over. Kerry called Bush to concede and say, you won it, you miserable bastard. And Kerry will deliver his remarks 1 o'clock in Boston. I'm not going to put it on. What's the point? It'd be boring, right?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe 2 or 3 words like, I lost.
Well, there's Jeb. You could put him on.
A boat with a big hole in it.
With his wife?
Titanic Jr. With his wife, with his smuggling wife?
He could smuggle her along.
You know, I'm going to tell you, when it comes to moral values, family values, the Bush family's got them all beat. Just ask Kitty Kelly. She'll tell you all about it.
Bankrupt.
Their Nazi grandpa. And, of course, that great dysfunctional family that your fat-ass governor has got with his daughter in rehab and his son that's driving around doing wheelies in his girlfriend's parking lot, stoned off his ass, and the other kid that's screwing his girlfriend in broad daylight in a car in a parking lot at a shopping center in Tallahassee, and the wife that's smuggling stuff in and don't want to pay customs on it because she don't want, allegedly, doesn't want her husband to know that she's running up the credit cards as if the Bush family's got financial problems.
Drunk driving president.
Right. Drunk driving president, coke snorting president, drunk president. Abortion buy-in president.
Butthey.
Butthey? Did you say butthey?
I did.
Well, maybe Rick and Suds will be on today. I could use the day off. I'm serious.
Yeah,
I'm going home.
Couldn't.
I'm going home.
Don't.
Oh, that's right, I am home. Which replies to your feelings about the election result? We got 207 votes. Pissed off 83. Suicidal 73. Glad it's over 17. It is over. What result 15? See, those people voted before they realized that Kerry conceded. Ecstatic 11, indifferent 5, pleased 3. So ecstatic or pleased, you got 6.7%. 6.7%. Well, they're not with us anyway. They've totally written us off now. You've alienated those all. Well, good. You know, I really couldn't care less. I just couldn't care. So of no consequence to me anymore. I mean, what they've done to us in this show anyway is like criminal. There are people on death row for lesser crimes. As Tom Jicker points out in that column I'm going to get to. Where the hell is it? I'll get to it after the break. Little Tommy Jicker. Didn't I always say nice things about Tom Jicker? Except for the fact that he misquotes me every time I ever speak to him, which is why I don't talk to him. And I did not speak to him for this article, by the way. He just got inspired to write it, I guess. The only bad thing I ever said about Jicker was... He's bloody stupid! Which is true, and he would be the first one to tell you that. But other than that, he never stole a freight train. Okay, we'll get to that column he wrote on Saturday and a little bit about the show. And let's kind of segue away from all of these aggravating things and give people a little more meat. You know what I'm saying? A little more meat on the bone.
Okay.
26 pounds. Speaking of that, we got, what's her name? We got Andrea Thompson there on our website today on Behind the Beaded Curtain. You might want to sit there and just stare at it all day and take your mind off all these other depressing things. Just stare at it. And the picture, too. Hey, let me tell you right now, you don't want to stare at your carpeting if it's schmutzy, man, because it's embarrassing. But even people that are relatively clean and vacuum regular, their carpets still get schmutzy because the fact of the matter is your family, everybody is in and out, your guests, they're stomping stuff into the fibers of your carpet, which is not good. In fact, hopefully you don't see all the dirt that's down in there, but it's in there, trust me. Just like in Ragu, it's in there. So when it comes to cleaning your carpet, do yourself a big favor. Don't schlep home heavy equipment from the store. Don't open up the yellow pages and play Russian roulette. Call the experts in carpet cleaning, the people I've used in my homes for over 20 years now, Draw Concepts. Call them today and sanitize your home, whether it's your carpeting, your furniture, your drapery, your expensive area and oriental rugs. They'll do a job like you wouldn't even believe. And you never have to worry about getting ripped off by Draw Concepts either because they give you a written guaranteed price up front before they start to. You really can clean today and entertain tonight. There's nothing like a true thing. So pick up that phone and call Draw Concepts. You'll be mighty pleased you did, and you'll never use anybody else again. I'll bet you Greg's life on that, too. In Dade, Broward, and the Palm Beaches, call them toll-free, 1-800-248-5071. That's 1-800-248-5071 for Draw Concepts, the best in the business. Make your carpets clean in South Florida since 1979. That's what I said.
You're listening to Neil Rogers, exclusive. QAM.
I've been everywhere, man. Travel, I've had my share, man. I've been everywhere. I've been to Reno, Chicago, Fargo, Minnesota, Buffalo, Toronto, Winslow, Sarasota, Wichita, Tulsa, Ottawa, Oklahoma, Tampa, Panama, Mattawa, Lava. We're going to South Carolina, and Oklahoma, and Arizona, and North Dakota, and New Mexico, and Texas, and New York. I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere, man. We're going to California, and New York. We're going to South Dakota, and Oregon. Evelyn had my share, man. I've been everywhere. And North Dakota, and New Mexico. I've been to Boston, Charleston, Dayton, Louisiana, and Oregon. We're going to California, and Texas. Santa Fe, Dolphins, Glen Rock, Black Rock, Little Rock, Austin. We're going to South Dakota, and Michigan. Grand Lake, Devils Lake, Crater Lake, Deep Lake. I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere, man. Evelyn had my share, man. I've been everywhere. And then we're going to Washington, D.C. to take back the White House.
7:32. Some of you people just don't know when to say when. John Kerry's already called El Presidente. He's already conceded that he lost. He's making his speech official at 1 o'clock, okay?
Okay.
But here are some of the faxes that we're getting. Don't give up yet, please. CNN shows Kerry votes are still going up. And then it says, refresh this link every 10 to 15 minutes. The votes are still coming in. It just went up 20,000 votes for Kerry in about 10 minutes. They're still counting Dade's absentee votes, and they're still counting Ohio, Iowa, New Mexico. See, Iowa and New Mexico aren't relevant. In either case, they have nothing to do with anything. The only state that would have put either candidate over the top, somebody had to win Ohio, because Iowa's only got 11 electoral votes, and New Mexico has got 5, so that's 16. So neither one would have put either one over the top, because Bush had 254. Or no, you know something? Wait a minute. Iowa's got, what did I say? I made a mistake. Iowa's got 7 and New Mexico 5, so that's 12. So it would have put Bush at 266 or Kerry at 264. They're not relevant. The only thing that counted was who won Ohio. And here's another fax. Ohio vote hinges on absentee provisional votes. It says, this article here, why is Kerry conceding if the count isn't official for 11 more days? Because they've done the math, okay, dummy? That's why. Well, this is one of our chronics. You know, it's just sad. It's not good news for a lot of us, but you have to accept it. That's it. By hook or by crook, whatever it is, it's over. When you're 135,000 votes behind, and you've got 175,000 other absentee and provisional ballots to count, just do the math. If he won 140,000 of the 175,000, yeah, is there any chance in the world he's going to get 140,000 of them?
No.
Of course not. Crazy people. I guess they just weren't good at math. 5670560, pound 560 on the Verizon and Singular wireless lines. Let's take 100,000 calls today, although I did say I was going to get into the Tom Jica column.
Yes,
I will.
you did.
I will. WQAM, hello. QAM.
Yes, I'm Tom, just calling to talk to Neil.
Speaking.
Hey, Neil, this is Jeff, early voter for Kerry.
Yes?
I'm just saying that even though you're saying that John, Howard Dean might have made a difference, you look at it statistically, it's not that big of a difference. I don't think it still would have mattered if it was Dean or Kerry. Even though Kerry made a lot of mistakes in the campaign, it's just so close, I don't think it would have made that big of a difference.
Well, let me ask you this. How about if we do it over again and we give it a try, Dean and somebody? How's that?
I'll go for that, right?
Let's try that one next week, okay, Pally?
Okay, then.
Okay, hang in there.
All right.
Sean faxes and says, the time for discussion has ended, the time for finger-pointing has begun. We again have an honorable man who's a lousy, boring candidate. Every time he had a microphone in front of him or an interview, he just repeated the same tepid sound bites everyone had already heard. That's correct. Check out our record. Mondale, Dukakis, Goring, Kerry, the Somonek Squad. You got it, Sean. Working Americans who vote for the right wing want to be abused like a battered wife who keeps returning to her tormentor. The religious right is running through this country like a freight train, except this train stops to pick up passengers for the cattle cars on the way to camp. My prediction for Iraq, Nam, an Islamic state with Sharia law within a year. Imagine the Taliban with oil and an army 1 million strong. God save us from religion, says Sean. Well, you are absolutely correct.
Oh, God.
At any rate. Yeah, let's try it again. And I'll tell you who else really was useless as breasts on a bullfrog. And that's John Edwards. Remember what I said after his debate with Cheney?
Mm-hmm.
You know, everybody said, he won the debate. He was weak. He was right up till the end, that's all he could do. Was just, give those sound bites, the talking points, the same old 3x5 card cliches. That's all he ever did. He didn't bring anything to the table. Did Kerry even come close to winning North Carolina? No. South Carolina? Anywhere in the South? No. So what the hell did he add? Nothing.
That mole.
He added that mole on his lip, which I think a lot of people were they scared to death of that thing. It looked like a chancre to me. It looked like a big, ugly thing. And believe me, trust somebody who's seen a few of those. There's nothing worse than a big, ugly thing. At any rate, we'll get a bunch of calls, and then after the next break, we'll do the Jicka column. Tom had some pretty interesting... see, the good thing is I don't have to deal with any of the response inside the building to that column. I do want the audience to know I was not interviewed with that because I don't talk to Tom anymore. About once every 5 years I speak to Tom. What was it I spoke to him about the last time?
I don't know.
Oh, it was about the FCC, about the censorship thing.
Oh.
And that was a few months ago, and he misquoted me on that badly and, created a problem. And I don't need no problems. Because I think eventually all of our problems will be solved. You know what I mean?
No.
Just like the Godfather said. Let's see. Kevin says, if you can't beat him, join him. I've just become a fag-hating, warmongering, church-going hole, is what Kevin says. Well, what's wrong with being a fag-hating, warmongering, church-going hole, Kevin?
What kind of hole?
Got a lot of company out there. We don't want those fag marriages. We want to protect the institution of a marriage between one man and one woman. Right. Really sad. And you wonder why the rest of the world looks at America and says, holy crap, they're all saying,
oh, my God.
Oh, brother. I'm just looking out my window. I see there are people with the candles. They're sitting shivvy out there on street corners all over Toronto now, all over Canada, and all over the rest of the free world. They just can't believe this, that any country could be so stupid, so ignorant. But they often say that people get what they deserve, you know what?
Yes, they do.
The problem being that the half of the country that doesn't want any part of that, they're also going to have to get the consequences, and their kids are also going to have to be sent off to die in contrived wars. And that's the sad part. I say all the people that voted for Bush, let their kids go off to war. How's that?
Sure, there you go.
Right. And all the rest of the people that don't want any part of this religious nightmare that's going on, this exercise in superstition and fantasy, they can just be left alone until they go to camp and take a nice shower. Clean up their act. 21 before noon at 560 WQAM. Hey, all you horse racing and poker player fans, Pompano Park Racing and Poker is all the gambling action you could possibly handle. Located just a half a mile from both I-95 and the Turnpike, Pompano Park is easy to get to, and best of all, Pompano Park features free admission and free general parking every day. Live harness racing in the poker room is open now 3 days a week, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. Poker starts at noon, goes on till midnight, and live racing gets underway nightly at 7:25 tonight and every Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. Every Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday, the poker room features tournament action with special Texas Hold'em and 7-card stud tournaments starting at noon. Don't miss out on our Dollar Night Wednesdays like tonight with draft beer, soda, hot dogs, and more, just $1 a piece, starting at 6 p.m. Pompano Park is also open every day of your life, 7 days and nights a week for the best in harness, thoroughbred highlight action from all across North America for you to watch and plunge your guts on. And best of all, most important of all, only 47,520 minutes left until the first free spaghetti dinner night on Monday, December 6th. Mark it on your sleeve. Monday, December 6th. Free spaghetti at Pompano Park. That's Pompano Park, it blocks off Atlantic Boulevard and Powerline Road for the current racing schedule. You can call them 954-972-2000 or check them on the wicked web at pompanopark.com.
The Howard Stern Show. Neil Rogers, mornings and middays. And sports around the clock. 560 QAM.
Neil got out WQAM, where the faggot is.
This joint is high class, ain't it?
Yeah, sure was nice and great to invite us to dinner.
Right down, you muttonhead. I don't know what he wants from us yet.
Hey, Mo, look at this here. It's a rare artifact.
It looks like a toilet.
Says here, Ian Frank's toilet.
Here, let me look at it. What's that say in the bottom there?
Pep Boy.
Hey, someone's coming quick. Put it back on the thing. Be careful with that. You stupid. Lord, Mr. Reed will see you now. Hiya, Greg.
Hi, Greg.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for coming, and welcome to my... I'm sorry, that drumming sound is coming from somewhere. Yeah, I just don't know what it is.
There's a dead beat.
Oh, well, never mind that. Won't you join me?
I don't mind if I do.
Okay.
What are you drinking, Mo?
I'll have A tib.
Well, I'll get my houseboy to get it. Oh, Carlo.
Yes, Mr. Reed.
A tab for my friend here.
Right away, Mr. Reed.
Would make that extra pink, will you?
Yes, Mr. Reed.
Frankly, I prefer a nice Chianti.
I'll have that.
Fine.
That's a nice slab of meat, then. What is it, Delmonico?
No, hardly. It's High Boy.
What do you mean, High Boy?
Here, slap the tender underbelly.
Hiya, Pally.
You'll miss the giblets. There's part, if you ask me. They're round and chewy, sort of like a gizzard. Yo, Carlo.
Yes, Mr. Reed.
Put that beard of yours to work and start brushing off those blades, will you?
14 till noon at 560 WQAM. Let's just keep your chin up, okay? Just like Kathy Willits always did. Vernon says, I think it's time to prepare for the new Fifth Reich. Plus, to make it worse, we still have to deal with Jeb Bush after these 4 years are done. Well, good luck to you, okay, Vernon? I'm having a good time, eh? Let's see, here's one that says, I want to really know where all the... See, we're given so much bullcrap, so much bad information, and of course that's the American media for you. Once again, they don't know their ass from your armpit, from your giblets. I really want to know where all the new registered voters went. Weren't they all supposed to go to Kerry? I'll make it very short, this fact says. This vote was not so much for Bush as it was against Kerry. I think the Democrats, for the second time in a row, put up a very weak candidate. I don't especially like Bush, but I couldn't vote for Kerry, it says. Don't especially like Bush. You know, I just can't relate to this, the mentality that we're dealing with here, okay? Like it's some kind of a game, like it's a football game.
Sure.
Innocent people are dying every day. Right. But again, you know, Kerry blew it when that whole Iraq thing, he didn't handle it properly from the beginning. Well, you know, he has no plans on pulling us out of there. I say Dennis Kucinich, man, at least he would have been some good comedy.
All right.
Maybe not the best here.
Or even Al Sharpton.
Renee and Aventura, yeah, Al Sharpton would have kicked some ass. Renee and Aventura says the Today Show and NBC are clearly right-wingers. Katie Couric sent reporter Kevin Tibbles to a deli in Chicago, Illinois. I don't think Katie sent anybody anywhere. The producers of the show sent Kevin Tibbles to a deli in Chicago, where, if I'm not correct, Kerry trounced Bush. That is correct, by a huge margin. Couric asked Tibbles to get responses from some of the customers. The reporter conveniently found a Republican congressman who refused to acknowledge any division in the country. The reporter next questioned a financial analyst who could only gloat about the stock market surge, and they call that news. Shame on NBC and Today.
Absolutely correct, sir.
And CBS.
Absolutely correct, sir.
And ABC.
Absolutely correct, sir.
And CNN.
Absolutely correct, sir.
And MSNBC.
Absolutely correct, sir.
And especially...
Absolutely correct, sir.
Fox Nazi News. But other than that, now, see, this fax here is like, I don't know if Dan's trying to convince himself that life is worth living now. Mm-hmm. Dan in Miami Beach says the positive side of the election is that it sends a message to the rest of the world that democracy works. People can have differing opinions and peacefully conduct an election. The outcome may be a disappointment, but at least we have one. I personally look forward to 4 more years of a good source of humor. Yeah, all them dead bodies is really funny, ain't it?
Deal.
All of those freedoms that people are losing. All of those people out of work. It's really it's a blast. I'm just trying to look on the bright side. Better luck next time, says Dan in Miami Beach. Oh, Dan, get a brain. Okay, get into Tom Jicka's column. So Tom on Saturday wrote one of these things. Any scandal will do for Channel 7. It's one of these, here's what I really think thing, just has the various stuff, which is good. I wish he'd write more about that. Then he might write a little more about just puff pieces on the latest TV shows that are going to be off by the time you read the column. First one's kind of interesting. He says WSBN can't be accused of trying to bury the business, even when it involves one of their own, the Weather Fairy Jr. Now, at the end of the article, Tom says, and I'm sure he saved the best for last, WQAM AM 560 faces a double whammy. When Howard Stern leaves for satellite radio at the end of next year, WQAM will be only about a year away from the end of Neil Rogers' contract. Rogers maintains he plans to retire, but he has said that before, only to extend his deal when sweeteners, such as a studio in his adopted home of Toronto, have been thrown in. It might take more than that this time, with Rogers doing a slow burn and having to start his show up with disrespect when they treat your agent like garbage, when they go into temper tantrums and they pout. I mean, here was a man, it was right on the heels of when Stern announced he was leaving and going to Sirius. Now, wouldn't you think, didn't I say it to you off the air and on the air? If you had any smarts at all, and your other main profit center, this show, was saying, I guess I'll stick around for another 2 years. We'll do a contract extension. Nothing over and above that. Just a few days more back in the summertime. 2 days more off. 9 days, I think it came down to a year. And rather than meet with your agent, goes into a temper tantrum because he didn't like the poll we were taking that day about who's gotten screwed the worst at QAM, which is a very accurate poll, by the way. We probably left some names off. And this is the way you do business? I don't think so. And that's why I've discontinued all the contact with Clarence and with Duff and with all these other intermediates who come in to take our temperature, you know. Every morning they have to come in there, kind of take our temperature so they can pass it along to Greg.
And the thermometer's
playing
cold,
games, huh? What I get paid for is to show up here every day, do a good show, the best I can, and that's it. Asked her in the last month of that summer book, which dragged us way down and cost a lot of us a lot of money. And that's why it would be extraordinarily unlikely to see us continue. I mean, we got 2 years yet. 2 years is plenty. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'll say it again. Thank you very much, Greg, for not jumping in anything premature, because if I would have signed, especially after seeing Stern go into Sirius, there's no future in commercial radio for the talent anymore. It's just history, especially when you have a government that won't let you say anything on the air, and especially when you're working for a company that goes overboard on the restrictions. It's a miracle we got any audience left at this night. How many times have I said it? You get tired of beating your head against the wall and trying to change mankind and change the world. You're not going to change this country. It is what it is. Of all the westernized countries, there isn't one that's even close. Not close in terms of religious fanaticism. And the rest of the world looks at that with horror.
Oh, my God.
With horror. Yeah. And they're even dancing the horror. The only place they're dancing is in Israel. They're really happy over there, I'll guarantee you. Sharon is doing the quick apple quick step. He's so excited. Can you imagine him sitting on the toilet?
Please.
No, seriously, Ariel Sharon. He's not a king, but boy, he must have one hell of a big throne. No, I'm serious. That man's got an ass. There are apartment buildings that are smaller than Ariel Sharon's ass.
High boy's jealous.
In fact, if you ask me, he's all ass, if you ask me. But other than that, the rest of the world, the civilized world, where they're not busy killing each other all every day because they don't like the schmata on the other guy's head, they can't believe this. They're aghast. And speaking of gas, thank you, Mr. President, for those low gas prices. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Every single issue, the economy, jobs, the price of oil, you name it, our relations with the rest of the world, the war in Iraq, the war on terror, preventing terror on 9/11, which is the first time we've been attacked by outsiders on our own territory in the history of this country. Except, of course, for, I guess, Pearl Harbor, which at that time Honolulu was not the state. But nevertheless, we still had our fingers in it. And it didn't make any difference. Because when they started showing us the exit polling, and moral values was where it was at. I told you right there that them born-again, Van, them evangelical Christians, them fundamentalist lunatics, them crazy people, the God Squad, the Jesus Christers, they're the ones that turned out. Not you young people out there who are too busy smoking a big fat one and trying to get laid. Yeah. No, not them. They didn't show up. And all these Democrats that supposedly they registered, oh, my God, the lines were long, all right, because there were 4 million people that voted. And guess what the nationwide total was? Now, I want you to keep these two numbers in mind, okay? Very important stuff. Doesn't take a genius to figure out we're still split exactly down the middle, except, of course, for the fundamentalists. They're in a separate category. But as far as 2000, Al Gore won the popular vote by 500,000 votes, 500,000. Got that number in your mind?
Right.
Bush here wins. Time who stayed home last time because they didn't like that DUI information that came out at the last minute. 4 million. That's the number they've been talking to us about all along. Those 4 million evangelical Christians, if they show up this time, and they did. And they were wound around the block and down the street and up to Mary's house and probably over there to Rosa Lopez to see the Virgin Mary on the 13th of each month. The crazy people have taken over your country, baby. I mean, you may not, like it. It's undeniable. The lunatics, the right wing, the fringe. Can it be just a matter of time before they're on their way to Armageddon?
Well, they can make it happen. They can make it happen.
Yeah, but what if we don't want to go?
You're listening to Neil Rogers exclusively on 560 QAM. This is Dick Cheney. I like to relax by having Mary Magdalene massage my balls while listening to the Neil Rogers 12 to 1 hour.
Well, good morning.
This is former Vice President and former presidential candidate Al Gore. I'm here to quash the rumors. I am alive. I used to be the man who was in control. I used to be the man who was on a roll. Now I just sit home in my undies and socks, looking for that key to my damn lockbox. Oh, Dick Cheney, you think you're special? Oh, Dick Cheney, you think you're something else. So you're Mr. Popular VP. That don't impress me much. You're at least as fat as I am, and you're balding. Now on to your boss, who's a real big man. He should write thank you notes to Afghanistan. There's only two types of things from Texas, you know. His dad's Ben Cartwright, and he's little Joe. Oh, George Bush, you think you're special? Oh, George Bush, you think you're something else? So you're Mr. Popular President, huh? That don't impress me much. If I want to be hurtful, I can be so. Your ears are bigger than Ross Perot. Now, don't get me wrong, George, I think you're all right. But how many beers do your girls drink at night? You don't impress me much. Bill Clinton, there was a real president, a real man. And what about me? Look at me. I am a pillar of perfection, though I must admit a tad on the fleshy side. Maybe I should hit the gym. No, I'm beautiful.
12:02 at 560 WQAM. Happy Wednesday to you, if we can say that. Can we say that?
No.
Going to be getting probably a new list pretty soon of things we can and cannot say. Wouldn't you think?
I'm sure.
A very long list. Here's the facts. It says, ashamed and scared Schmittless, Cuban, born here. Bobby. Well, Bobby, who also says, P.S. Vernon's gay. Where can I get my passport? I'm leaving this godforsaken loony wagon. I'm sick of all these 800-year-old Cubans voting for people who promised to overthrow Castro. We should take away the right to vote from those who weren't born here. Well, that may be okay, Bobby, but what about those people all over the rest of the country, the 4 million people who voted for Bush, 4 million more than those who voted for Senator Kerry, who's going to be conceding in less than an hour, by the way, 1 o'clock. We'll carry about a few words.
About 30, man.
Or less. Brian, professional pet photography. Now, why, I don't understand. Why has he got his phone number on here? Does he want a commercial plug?
I don't know. Maybe what's a date?
No, thanks. It says, get out your Bible. We're not a free nation anymore. We've shown the world that we will follow the word of God, no matter where it takes us or who it affects. We're now absolutely one nation under God. George Bush is God and no other God. No facts, no considerations or rational thinking will override the word of George Bush's God. America has shown that we no longer consider the diverse beliefs, ideologies, and values of our own people. So how can we possibly be the ones to spread true democracy around the world? Excellent point, Brian. If the rest of the world didn't hate us before, they sure will now. This should keep us a lot safer. Yeah. Oh, the evildoers are really going to get after us now. How long before that first terror alert? Didn't that start in Gone with the Wind? They had that terror alert. Here's a fax that says, where's my cheap gas? The only thing worse than this internet's connection on your end is the next 30 years.
About 30, man.
Please kick somebody in a keister, fix the internet. Oh, yeah. How are we going to do that? I mean, right. We've got a problem cutting in and out, I guess, for some time now.
Yes, we do.
And what are they going to say about it?
That's a quote.
What? Care?
They pretend to care sometimes, and they don't even
because it has to do with our website, it has to do with this show.
We don't make money off the internet.
That's right, they can't make any money off of our internet.
We don't sell
right.
ads on the internet.
Yeah, screw you, Greg.
It's just for your people out there. And
so the only way I can listen is on the internet. Please don't make me go Al Franken and Kathleen Lanfer. Catherine, her name is Catherine Lanfer. Oh, I hear she's the best. Yeah, nice job, by the way, Al Franken. That Air America, that was really going to do the job. Did it do it? Oh, God. What a joke. And then, of course, INZ, they were playing the Goddess tapes from the day before. Howard! She's forgot, or most does not care enough. What is it? Most does care enough to realize. What does that mean? Senator-elect Jim DeMint, who thinks that unwed pregnant women and gays are unfit to be school teachers. Senator-elect Tom Coburn, who wants the death penalty for abortion doctors. Senator-elect John Thune, who we all know as Mr. School Prayer Amendment No. 1. Voters in 11 states voted to ban same-sex marriage. The lowest margin was 57-43. The highest in Mississippi, 86-14. Kentucky also banned civil unions, 75-25. Meanwhile, 89% of these Supreme Court justices are Christians older than 65. These people are speaking for me, deciding how I live. I'm a 22-year-old agnostic. Enjoy your tax cut, America. You're going to bloody need it, signed a disappointed, free-thinking American, Travis. Well, Travis, I hate to break the news to you, but your days are numbered, baby, in single digits. It's all over. Free-thinking America, that's like an oxymoron now. And as far as all those goyim out there are concerned, don't confuse them, man. That Armageddon's coming, and we got the right guy in here to lead us right down the path to hell. Oh, there's
They felt that they just couldn't get the votes they needed without what they call an exhaustive battle that would really further divide.
The numbers weren't there, honey, okay? They just weren't there. Stop this song and a dance. 135,000 down when you're going in the wrong direction, when you've gone from 120,000 to 135,000 votes behind in Ohio as the votes keep coming in. You just ain't going to cut it. It ain't there. He was weak. Didn't I tell you he was weak?
Sure, we all saw it.
Tick Bush's ass in the debates, even with that wire, even with the radio transmitter, Bush was getting coached in the back so he could keep saying Abu Ghraib, stupid, illiterate crap. Didn't make any difference. Because if you've ever watched any of these TV evangelists, stupid and illiterate doesn't come close to describing it. How's Jimmy Baker doing, by the way? No, seriously, even Tammy Faye. Even that over-made-up bitch, Tammy Faye, with her boyfriend Carlos out there at the front desk knew it.
The media is sick and needs help badly.
That's right, and they're co-conspirators. They have to put this one over, man. I sure hope that they're getting big fat checks, and they probably a lot of them are. Just like them suitcases full of cash that are coming in from the No on Amendment 4 people, probably. I don't know who's on the receiving end, but somebody is in there. The big fix had to be in on that, just like the Metro fail. I mean, this whole business about fixed elections, and just like that business, that silly facts about democracy in America, what are you talking about? How many years ago did we have the last honest election in the U.S.?
About 30, man.
Yeah, and probably more than that.
I'm sure more.
Yeah, certainly before 60 when the Kennedys fixed Illinois to get JFK in there. WQAM, hello.
The only Democrat that could defeat the evangelist is Lieberman.
Yeah, that'll do it, yeah. WQAM, hello.
I want to speak to Neil.
Speaking.
Hey, Neil, how you doing?
Okay.
A couple of things. I mean, the Democrats, they could have put a dancing billy goat against Bush and still should have beaten him.
Right, that's correct.
Well, with the moron
majority.
Did you ever see
Kerry try to dance?
Oh, yeah. But, I mean, look at the moron majority. I mean, that's the telltale sign of what...
It's a redneck country, baby. Look at that map. Look at the so-called red states, okay? One after another. Here they come. Utah, Wyoming, North Dakota, South Dakota, Montana, Idaho, Colorado. Here they all came, man. Rednecks.
What's incredible to me is... I mean,
crash.
In a couple of years, we've killed 100,000 innocent women and children. And the terrorists in the past 10 years
sacrificed over 1,100 of our own, by the way. Don't forget about those kids.
In the past 10 years, the terrorists haven't killed that many people.
Right, that's correct.
You know, so
not yet.
I mean, who's the real terrorist here?
But I will say this: that if Bush and the Saudis make another bad business deal, who knows how many are going to die in that one?
Right. One thing I didn't with Kerry, I thought should have brought up in the debate is the abortion issue. Is the fact that abortions actually have risen with Bush in the White House.
Yeah, I read that. I read the article.
And it's all
maybe they should have consulted me a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's just incredible. It just doesn't make sense.
Well, that's because they kept trying to play it safe. They wanted to ride that fine line. They didn't want to offend the religionists, and, it blew up in their face.
Hey, one other thing. Buford the Redneck says hello.
Okay, give him a kiss for me.
Will do.
See ya. You'll probably enjoy it. 567-0560, pound 560 on the Verizon and Singular Wireless line. We're taking your temperature today, just kind of like the way the management there likes to take our temperature every day to see whether they might actually communicate with us, okay? Glad it's over, 56. Ecstatic, 28. Oh, look at that. El President's going to speak at 3 o'clock. I'll be sure to be away from a TV at that point. Ecstatic, 28. That's 5%. What result? 21. Indifferent, 15. And pleased, 13. So between ecstatic and pleased, we got 7.3%. Well, that's because you chased away all of us. Good. Like I said before, I can't say it often enough, okay? If we get a 1 share, ain't going to change my life in the least bit. You know, I think that's an interesting thing that when you like people that are on XM and Sirius, I don't know if they have a way really to rate that, do they? Probably don't. They just know how many people are subscribing because that's the way they make it, and they also are commercial free.
They must have a way to tell where the receiver.
Oh, well, they will now. Oh, are you kidding me? After that last night's election, you think that they're not going to be monitoring everything you listen to, every book that you read, every movie that you rent? Oh, you got to be kidding me, man! Patriot Act Parts 3, 4, and 5. Wait till you see those. They're even going to be checking out what you ate for breakfast because it's going to be the toilet police, the feces of the species. You'll see. You're laughing. You're thinking I'm just joking about that. They're going to be checking your innards, your gizzards, your innards, your outards. Let's see. Here's a fax from AJ who says, Dear Monsignor Neil, please let me know after a couple of the major newspapers in Amsterdam so I can look them up online, try to find a job before I move. The Telegraph, D-E-T-E-L-E-G-R-A-A-F. 2 A's, eh? The Telegraph is the major newspaper, and there's other ones. After the dismal results of the election, where the religious zealots of this country stole the election again, with the help of their friends at Diebold, Susan Lepore, I think that's Teresa Lepore he's talking about, and Jeb Bush, I've officially decided to move to Amsterdam. How come he left off that bitch? What the hell was her name?
What was her name?
Glenda in the Hood.
Oh, yeah.
Please help, he says. I need to know a couple of them. I just got through telling you. Please, this would take 5 seconds. I just got through telling you. I'm a pre-Zeta listener. I've tried many times over the years to call, but never lucky enough to get through. Based on this fax, you were real lucky. Good luck with everything. Hope that the Spick and Sud show gets a chance, can take off when you decide to retire from this retarded podunk market. Love and kisses, AJ. The Telegraph, D-E-T-E-L-E-G-R-A-A-F. Got it? Kind of sounds like giraffe. The Telegraph. There you are. I just hope you don't expect he's going to be learning no Dutch. Horrible language, by the way. Also believe. 12 minutes past noon, and plus there's a whole lot of them Rasta drug people out there in the streets. Nasty, smelly, gross, and the Dutch are overbearing and obnoxious. But other than that, you'll love it over there. It's a lot of fun. 12:13 at 560 WQAM. IRS tax problems have a way of destroying your life, man. They take a toll on you financially, physically, and emotionally, just like yesterday's election is just wearing some of us down. You can never really forget about your IRS problems. They come back every morning when you wake up in a cold sweat, just crapping your brains out. CPA Jamie Buchwald of the Buchwald Tax Firm will help end your IRS problems forever and give you back peace of mind. That's why other top CPA and law firms refer all of their clients to the Buchwald Tax Firm when they have IRS problems. Why not avoid potential criminal prosecution? Get all unfiled tax returns prepared even if you lost all your records. Now, suppose you have an IRS lien, wage levy, owe payroll taxes and penalties. Maybe you want to settle for thousands less than you owe, need time to pay. Whatever the deal, the Buchwald Tax Firm can help you out. They offer you a free initial consultation, affordable and guaranteed fees, and immediate relief from IRS harassment. And best of all, you never have to meet with the IRS. The Buchwald Tax Firm handles all meetings and discussions, so you don't even have to do it. Call them today, 954-575-2800. Whether you owe $10,000 or $1 million IRS taxes, whatever the number, the Buchwald Tax Firm will help you out. Call them today for a free, no-obligation consultation, or visit them on that wicked web on the internets at irsfreedom.com and stop worrying about the IRS knocking down that front door. 954-575-2800.
Listening to Neil Rogers exclusively on 560 QAM.
Bob Thornton brings back his most beloved character for another film about America's most beloved sport, Friday Night Carl.
I reckon on fourth down you ought to punt.
It's Billy Bob Thornton as Carl from Sling Blade, coaching high school football.
I call it a tailback. Some folks call it a halfback. I call it a tailback.
Friday Night Carl will make a quarterback sneak into your heart.
I read the rule book. I studied on it quite a bit. It says a man ought not to block another man from behind on a kickoff return.
And don't miss Coach Carl's inspirational halftime pep talk.
If you boys win this here football game, we're all going to go out for biscuits and mustard. I like biscuits and mustard.
Friday Night Carl, rated PG-13.
I reckon no youngin' under the age of 13 ought to see this movie without their mommy or daddy.
It's 12:18. Guess what? Betty Castor conceded this morning.
Yeah.
I'm just passing that along.
All right.
And there's still no more, they haven't counted the absentee ballots from Dade County yet. This is starting to get me really pissed up and fired off. Because I'm looking at the very latest and the not-so-greatest on Amendment 4 there on the slot machines at the pari-mutuels. And it's still 50.05% against and 49.95%. It's not a 1% difference. It's 1/10 of 1%. 1/10 of 1%. 6,800 votes out of almost 7 million. But the good news is there's 125,000 more votes to be counted, 2% of the total, and they're absentee ballots from Dade County, which since it's been passing overwhelming in Dade and Broward, it's probably put it over the top. And then, of course, when we have the local referenda in Dade and Broward, it'll win overwhelmingly again.
Yes.
See, this idea that we have to let the rest of the state, these rednecks, these mugwumps, these Bible-thumping lunatics, these flat earth people, dictate to us what the hell we can do and the quality of education. Maybe they want their kids to be just as dumb as they are.
Wow.
Yeah, that's right. They don't want to be shown up by their kids, so they want them to be just as stupid and trailer trashy as they are.
I ain't dumb, you is.
God forbid we should have more money for education in Florida.
It's a sin.
Yeah, that's right. Even our fat-ass governor will tell you that. We got some devious plans for you smart aleck education people.
Education won't save you from hell.
Yeah, he's too busy. He don't worry about educating. He's too busy keeping that stiff alive there. Whatever her name is. Terry Schiavo. Busy keeping that thing alive.
She smiled when I smiled at her.
Like I said, his daddy don't like broccoli, but Jeb likes vegetables. And anything else you can eat. That's why he's got such a damn big fat ass. Here's the facts from poor Jane in Miami who wants us to put sad and depressed on the poll. That's a good suggestion, Jane. Get that on there right away, please, Josh. Especially since you don't have to answer the phone no more. Now, how did you enjoy that yesterday?
It was pretty miserable.
Get out of here. We didn't have any. Why? Did you have a lot of problems yesterday?
Not that I paid attention to a lot.
No.
But, yeah, there were a couple wackos, you know.
Yeah, well. Wouldn't you have been disappointed if there weren't?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. The more people you got, the more wackos you got. That's the way it works in this business, especially in this town. Anyway, so just please for Jane, because she's sad and depressed. The both of those together. First, it says you have to hand it to Karl Rove. He is formidable, or is that formidable? Well, what we've learned in this election, I think it's clear that Democrats can't win an election without having a Southerner on the ticket, like Clinton, Carter, Johnson, etc. Wasn't I just talking about that a few days ago? Why do all Democratic candidates win? The last Democrat we had as president who wasn't a Southern Yahoo was JFK, and he had to steal the election. With regard to the Iraq War, I think it was a problem that Carol. You see, Von Meter died last week.
Who?
Von Meter. He had an album called The First Family. He did the most perfect imitations. He was a comedian, a satirist, who did imitations of JFK and Bobby. Unfortunately, he just died. They put the interview in the paper that they had done some time ago, and when Kennedy got assassinated, that was the end of his career. Von Meter, he's dead. Anyway, it says with regard to the Iraq War, I think it was a problem that Kerry's position was indistinguishable from Bush's. Good point, Jane. Kerry would have done much better had he taken a stand against the war, pledging to get us out of there, say, in 6 months.
Absolutely correct.
Jane. She says, I think the people who voted for Bush should have to enlist their children in the armed forces. Right. Similarly, I think that all the pro-life Bush supporters should be placed on a list and forced to adopt all the little black children who are born to people who, thanks to the Bush administration, can't afford to raise their own children. Not only that, how about them little Latino kids that are like smuggled across the border that are being born because the Pope keeps telling them no birth control? Finally, can you add sad and depressed? Which I'm sure we just did, didn't we? Yes.
Yes.
And we are sad and depressed, most of us. Now, here's the facts from Frank, who says, let me start by saying I'm not gay, and I think it's repulsive, abnormal, etc. Thank you, Frank. Having said that, I think it's unusual for the government to say that I can't discriminate against people because of their sexual preferences, but the government can. Is the next step to make it all right to fire people when you find out that they're gay?
Yes.
Isn't government supposed to guarantee equality for all people, whether they're black or white, yellow, green, straight, bi, or gay?
No.
Not this government. I don't understand why this is even an issue. The first litmus, in other words, what's it to you? That's what we always say. Why should you even care? The first litmus test for the government is to ask the question, why is this a concern and who does it affect? If the first answer is biblical in nature, it's not supposed to be an issue. What non-biblical reason is there for making gay marriage an issue at all? Second, the only people affected by gay marriage are the two people who are getting married. It has no effect on anyone else, so why is it an issue? I don't get it. And neither does anybody else with a brain, except it appeals to people's hate, their fears and their hate. Ah! And when you let them vote on their hatreds, man, they'll line up for miles.
If we let gay people be married, then our children will think it's okay.
Also, I think Osama bin Laden's tape was a boost to Bush. How many people saw that tape and said, bin Laden's not going to threaten me? I'm going to show him and vote for Bush.
Be the last one.
You'll be the first ones that they're going to send your ass off. Jews for Hitler. And I'll say it again. At least the black people of this country, you take a lot of crap from everybody. At least the dark folks, just like I predicted, they didn't get sucked in. They know what it's all about. This garbage about he was going to get twice as many black votes as he'd like. Yeah, your mama. That's what black America said to George Bush. Your mama. You're not fooling us, you jackass. You cracker. You illiterate goon. It's white males primarily, and white people in general, but white males specifically. We got to be macho, man. We got to show you. We're going to go over there and kick some ass. Not necessarily the ass that was a threat to us or that had anything to do with killing any of our people, but nevertheless, just to make us feel better, like that article I read again yesterday. That was it. Have a nice, quick war. Well, guess what? Surprise! Ain't so quick. Lots of people dying. Was he? What about you, Josh? You want to take that bet?
No, I'm good.
Greg and the water Nazis, I was going to throw a screw in there, but she's not there anymore. You see, if you stick around sooner or later, in fact, maybe we ought to do that poll again, you know? Who got screwed worse to QM in the last few years? Screw Ann, baby. Won't see her no more. Even what's his name?
Roy!
Can't believe it. And not only him, not only Roy, but
Troy
is shocked. I guess he won't be doing that number anymore. 26 past noon at 560. Well, number 23 is what I'm talking about. That was Troy's number on the Dolphins when he played those 4 games. They could probably use him right now, you know what?
Couldn't hurt.
Yeah, couldn't hurt. How you spelling that? Couldn't. Hey, if you're looking in the mirror wondering about that big ugly bald spot, here's the answer, baby. Chuck Alfieri. Charles is the hair guy. That's right. He's the hair specialist. For over 30 years now, he's been helping guys look really swell, really swanky, because you wouldn't even know his work when you see it. It looks like real hair. That's the key. I mean, you see a bad hairpiece, man, all you do is just want to pee in your pants laughing. And that's what they're doing to you, man. Like what's his name? Even he finally ditched that muskrat because he realized that he was the laughing stock of the universe. If you want to look great, Charlie's new skin-like hair system is 100% undetectable. The hair looks like it's real, like the real thing growing right out of your scalp. And Charlie's work is completely guaranteed. You have nothing to lose but that grotesque growing bald spot, because here's how the deal works. You try Charlie's system for a month, for 30 days.
Stop turning, man!
And if after 30 days you don't love the way it looks and feels, if we don't have a new president, return for a full refund. Make the call today at 1-800-321-2413, and be sure to mention to Charlie you heard about it here on the Neil Rogers Show, because it means you get your special $200 discount off the regular $800 price of that natural hairline system. So forget about the pills and the potions, the holes in the head, all of that crap. Keep in mind that the secret to a great hair system is to make sure that nobody can tell you're wearing one, and Charlie's new skin-like hair system is as natural as you can get. Pick up that phone and call him today. There's no obligation. Charlie will bring you in and show you just how much better and younger he can help you look. 1-800-321-2413. That's 1-800-321-2413, or on the wicked web, charlesalfieri.com.
You're listening to Neil Rogers exclusively on 560 QAM.
I hate you.
Absolutely.
Desperate for changing, I went online. I emailed a dominatrix. Now everything is fine. I'm naked in a dungeon made for slaves. I get whipped when I have misbehaved, just to prove that she is my master. I'm hanging by my testicles for her. Little heels are painful when they're up my butt, but that pain isn't nothing when you're hanging from your nuts. And I've been hanging from my testicles for days. Now my bones are rotting and decaying. It's just to prove that she is my master. I'm hanging by my testicles for her. My scrotum used to be a normal sack. Now I can pull it halfway up my back. All to prove that she is my master. I'm hanging by my testicles for her.
Rock solid. 12:32 at 560 WQM. You see, if the Big O would have voted yesterday, they might have turned it around.
That's
you
right.
know what? I mean, Kerry only lost Florida by 300,000-400,000 votes. That might have turned it all around for us, but it didn't. Hey, join Miguel and George and Boca Brian today for a happy hour. That'll cheer you up a little bit after a depressing Tuesday. It's great. 5 to 7 this afternoon at Treasure Island, located off the Palmetto, just north of the 122nd Street exit. They must be running out of ping pong balls because I see Stephanie Evans is going to be back. Unless they're recycling them. Well, you'll have to find out for yourself. Stop by for some low-budget prizes and check out the feature. Stephanie Evans will be shooting up a storm. At any rate, I'm not reading that last line. 5670560, pound 560 on the Verizon and Singular wireless lines. Might as well laugh. What's the sense of sitting around crying over spilled milk,
well,
okay? John Kerry has called President Bush a couple hours ago to concede. And at 1 o'clock, he's going to be making a concession speech, which we'll carry about 4 seconds of here because, quite frankly, he's boring. How many times did I tell you about the Democratic Party and what a weak sister it is, okay? We don't have a two-party system. We got a one-party system and a doddering old fool named Ralph Nader who got about how many votes last night?
About 30, man.
He's on there whining on CNN last night. Well, if they would let me on the ballot. Well, you were on the ballot in a whole bunch of states and you get like 16 votes, okay? Didn't get over 1%, I don't think, in any state. And in Florida, he got the big, less than 1%. And Larry King, being the rocket scientist that he is, who had no business being on there at all last night. What would you like me to do to sound like Neil?
Now you do sound like... No, I'm sorry, Neil. You sound like... Listen, Neil...
Wait. What did you just say?
Now you sound more like...
What did you just say?
Mince around a little bit. Maybe you'll...
if I minced around, okay, how's that?
Hey, Neil, can I interject a little bit?
Go right ahead, sir. Please, take all the time you want.
I am a Homo sapien on this earth, and I consider myself a Jesus-loving person, but I want to know why every time I look at Bush, I see a beady-eyed weasel antichrist. I guess I'm not one of the evangelistic...
How's that guy doing, your bug guy? 5670560. How's Greg Budell doing? Is he still on in the morning, or did he get canned again? I can't keep track of some of these people on drugs. No, on that whatever that was, 850.
I don't know.
The station that Norma Kent keeps talking about, the one that Steve Lapp has got some. See, some of these people who are pretend like radio people, like Norma Kent, and they're like, 850 is this and this one is that. Nobody listens to those stations. Nobody cares. Nobody knows where they are, what they are, who's on, who's off, who's on first. It's like old NEFO, you know.
We'll talk about Proposition 4. I don't understand. They have 98% of the votes, and it keeps the same vote. The vote hasn't gone up
Mark,
and down.
let me clarify for you. The other 2% of the 125,000 absentee ballots from Dade, which haven't been counted yet.
Yeah.
So it looks really good for passage because Dade and Broward passed overwhelmingly in favor. So once they count those two, which I'm trying to find out when they're going to count them, but somehow between now and the year 25, when they count those, it should put it over the top.
I do not understand the Catholic bishops going against this. I do not understand. The money is going to go to education.
Yeah.
And I just don't understand their reasoning.
If they'd have given 10% of that money to the Catholic schools, then they said, that's a really good idea. Let's go for it. Let's cancel bingo.
And you know what I'm really disappointed in?
What's
I'm
that,
disappointed in the schools in Broward County. Because my daughter goes to a public school in Broward County. And I spoke to the principal, and I asked her to put something in the literature to tell the parents to vote for it. And they refused.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand it. I really don't. It's just...
You sound a little tense, Mark. You sound like you're over the edge. I think it's going to pass. Like I said, they got 125,000 votes to count. They're all from Dade absentee ballots. It looks pretty good.
Really?
Unless, of course, the fix is in and they decide 2 for us and 1 for them. You know, that kind of deal.
I thank you very much for your call.
Okay, good luck to us, Mark. Thank you. I'll see you at Pompano Park at the slots. Or maybe just go out to Woodbine right now. I'm going out to Woodbine to plunge my guts out a little bit, okay? Get this out of my system. Young people, by the way, Bill Schneider on CNN, we owe them an apology, at least you do anyway, for knocking them. They still represented the same percentage, but they also turned out in much greater numbers. It's just that because there was such a high voter turnout, their impact wasn't any greater. In other words, in 2000, 17% of the vote were people 18 to 29. This time, again, the same 17%, but again, there were much more people that voted this time. So a lot more of them showed up, but they just couldn't make the impact because they were outnumbered by those Farbissinagoyim, as the Chinese say. Farbissinagoyim. Got that?
Oi!
The God Squad, the Jesus Christers, the Flat Earth Society, the Armageddon is coming crowd, the I'm crazier than a bud bug crowd, the stem cell research is evil crowd, the fetus hugger crowd. Them jackasses.
Well, they're pretty squishy. They're fun to hug.
Are they really?
Yeah, they make a sound, too.
They carry the complete line of bedding from all the top names in the business: Sealy, Serta, Simmons, King Coil, Tempur-Pedic, and Stearns, and Foster Hewitt. Call 1-800-MATTRESS right now and save yourself up to an additional 20% off. They're super low factory direct prices on select models. Call 1-800-MATTRESS right now and choose the day and time of delivery. You pick the 2-hour window like always, any day of the week when it's convenient for you, 7 days from 8 a.m. till 10 p.m. All the smart folks, including yours truly, have been doing this for years now instead of wasting our time, gas, and money schlepping around from bedding to department store. With low prices, same-day delivery, free setup and removal, it's easy to see. Dollar Mattress is ranked #1 in customer satisfaction. Dollar Mattress even received the prestigious Better Business Bureau's Torch of Excellence Award. So if you need a new mattress, if the old one is lumpy or bumpy, or you want to do something for your relatives coming down for the wintertime.
You're listening to Neil Rogers. On 560 QAM.
Friday night on E. It's the making of the Enrique Iglesias song, Hero.
I can be your hero, baby. Everything is beautiful.
Jerry, this is not what Enrique's fans want.
Yeah.
You need to get in there. You need to get him to cry.
I know.
That's what they want.
I got an idea. Let me see if this works.
Would you run? I know you would.
Enrique.
Yes, my dear.
Guess what?
What?
Santa. He got kidnapped, and the kidnappers, what they want for ransom is you to sing the song. It's Puppy on the TV.
Oh.
Isn't he cute?
Yes.
He doesn't have a home, and he's starving on the street.
Why would a doggy starve on the street?
But if you sell enough records by singing the song, maybe we can find homes for all the little doggies in the world.
Would you tremble if I touched your lips?
Hey, Enrique, what do you want for lunch today?
Big bacon classic from Wendy's.
Oh, they don't even sell that anymore. They don't make it anymore because you were bad.
I do not remember doing anything.
You know what, though?
Scenes look at the making of the Enrique Iglesias song, Hero.
Enrique, look, the newest poll is out, and guess what? What? It says you're not sexy anymore.
Don't miss the making of Hero. Enrique Iglesias, Friday night on E. Everything Entertainment.
She still looks okay to me. It's 12:45. Speaking of she, Jane got a good choice there on our poll. Sad and Depressed is doing very well. You see how fast that's skyrocketing up there toward the top?
Well, I thought Suicidal covered that, but you're right.
Well, not quite that sad or depressed.
Right.
Which applies to your feelings about the election result? Pissed off, 304. Suicidal, 220. Glad it's over, 70. Sad and depressed, 59. Ecstatic, 41. What result, 28. Pleased, 21. And indifferent, 19. Don't give a Schmidt. I just put indifferent because I'm getting tired of don't give a Schmidt. I'm tired of the don't give a Schmidsters. 5670560. Kerry's going to concede in 14 minutes, not that we're counting 1 o'clock. I'm so sick and tired of Democrats conceding. We need Bubba back. You know, if they were smart, you know what they would have had for Vice President? Bubba.
There you go.
Now, he would have had to undergo that heart operation right in the middle of the campaign, but he came out of it fine. In fact, they're crediting the gigantic victory in Pennsylvania for Kerry in part to the fact that Bubba was there. Mm-hmm. He really motivated. Now, Arkansas, I couldn't go quite so much because, number one, they had that anti-fag marriage thing on the ballot. And number two, Kerry's, he's that liberal from New England, you know?
Right.
That liberal Catholic who's almost like a Jew, who's got a little Jew in him. And then, of course, he's got that bitchy wife. I don't think she helped at all.
No.
They should have kept her a lot more heavily sedated during the last 2 or 3 weeks.
How could that be possible?
Every time she opened up her puss, man, she stuck her leg, not just her foot, but her entire leg in it, all the way down to her puss.
I'm going to tell you something, honey.
Yeah, plus the fact, man, she looks like she crawled out of a dumbster. If she's worth $1 billion, man, I guess she just doesn't give a crap, you know? When you're worth that kind of money, you don't care what anybody thinks about the way you look.
That's right, honey.
No, seriously, when you got some money, you don't care about what other people say. You know, if you got a crappy shirt on or stuff like that, especially if it's like got a wire up the back. WQAM, hello.
Hello, yes, can I speak with Neil?
Speaking.
Oh, Neil, hi, how are you doing?
I'm hanging in there. I'm trying to keep my mind together.
Oh, okay. Neil, you know what? I'd like to just make a comment. You know what? I think you were right all along. I'm going to move to Canada.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm moving to Canada, and if my husband is listening on the other line, if he's listening, because he always listens to you, darling, let's move to Canada. And I'd like to just make a little comment on the Republicans. I think the Republicans are a bunch of come mierdas.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Neil. You have a good day, okay?
You too. See you.
All righty, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. See, the way she said it was like, like it was all one word.
Mm-hmm.
Did you let it go?
What? Are we required to speak Spanish all of a sudden?
No, of course not. If the FCC don't care about it, why the hell should we? Although Joyce probably is. Although she probably don't speak 2 words of Spanish. Hey, Joyce, bug off already, okay? You're ruining our lives. I'm getting so tired of having this bitch hanging over our head way up here.
Oh, I don't doubt it.
I knew it either had something to do with the election or with your breakfast. 5670560, pound 560 on the Verizon Singular Wireless line. We got Jim Mandich at 2 today, the Mad Dog. In fact, he's put in some heavy-duty work. Look at that!
Huh?
Friday, I'm looking at the schedule the rest of the week. In honor of my birthday, Jim Mandich is doing a show at Publix on Friday. A show at Publix?
I don't know, maybe at the deli.
I can't believe that. It doesn't say which Publix, since there's only how many of them in town?
About 30, man.
But we will find out. The humper is at 4...
T-shirt.
I think you got your thumb right on it, man. That's right. 5670560. Puff Daddy, man. Now there's a class act, huh? Is she a classy girl, a guy, or what? WQAM, hello. WQAM, hello.
Hello?
Yes, sir?
Randy Rhodes will be screaming about the results of the election, and I don't blame her for screaming about it. And she's in Florida all this week until the results are over.
Yeah. And who cares? Isn't that exciting? One of Randy's people saying something like that. Wow. Well, excuse us. WQAM, hello.
Hi, I'm surprised.
WQAM, hello. QAM.
Hey, Neil, just an idea how the rest of the world thinks of us. Last night, about 11 o'clock, I was watching, and they had, I don't remember what channel, but they're interviewing these 2 people, 2 newscasters in Europe. They were interviewing 2 different channels, 2 different areas in Europe, 2 different countries. And one lady said, yeah, we saw the news, and we're quite disappointed, and we have a problem going to sleep tonight. In other words, they think we're a joke.
Yes.
And then another guy...
No, they don't think it. They know it.
They know it, and then another guy, and they still voting them in. So, like you said, we're a big joke to everyone.
The world knows, man. Only the U.S., eh?
Unbelievable, Poppy.
See you at the border, baby. See you at Niagara Falls, Fort Erie, one of those places. See you at the Peace Bridge. So the goddess is going to be screaming and carrying on, or already was, something like that. So who cares? Well, what's there to scream about?
I don't know.
Huh? I mean, there's some people that just like getting on here screaming and well, there's nothing to scream about. Kerry ran a very mediocre campaign, and they mobilized all those goyim, and they all turned out, and they did a phenomenal job of running around, picking them up, schlepping them into the polls, standing in line in rain for hours till 2, 3 in the morning, and they voted. That's it. And at least this time, if there were irregularities, which I'm sure that they were, they made sure that they won by enough so that it's not going to be like last time. We don't have to go through that whole crap again. I still say we ought to have the election over again next week. Just try it, okay? Howard Dean with Bob Graham for vice president.
Ooh.
What's wrong with that?
Nothing.
Guaranteed win in Florida.
Sure.
The most popular politician in Florida history, Bobby Graham, baby. A guy that really knows his crap inside and out. And Howard Dean, that's not afraid to tell it like it is, who was against the war right from the start. Not vague, not ambiguous, not all over the place, not wishy-washy, not doing one of them waffle routines, like that. The old flip-flop. They'd have had a tough time with Dean. That's why he didn't get in. That's why he didn't get in. They didn't waste any time. As soon as they saw the opening, man, as soon as he let out that first geschrei, that was the end of him. There was the chance. And, of course, you notice how the media cooperated?
Oh,
and then after Dean got humiliated and embarrassed, and most of us got sucked in thinking he was a crazy person, then they showed that all he was trying to do was be heard over the crowd noise because they used the ISO mic on there so we couldn't hear the crowd. Yeah. Oh, well, we really shouldn't have done that. Well, too late now. Probably it would be like the terrorist over there saying, oh, we probably shouldn't have beheaded, what's her name? Oh, did you see that Al Jazeera won't even put the tape on of that British babe?
Who's not beheaded yet, but
not yet.
Any minute.
No, actually, what they're doing, I think, is picking her apart with the tweezers or something because they said she was in such bad shape that even for a bunch of barbarians like them, they didn't have the chutzpah to put it on the air. WQAM, hello.
Hey.
Yeah.
After yesterday, I want to quit being an American, man. It's disgusting.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
I'm working on it.
I know, man. I got to move to Canada with you.
In fact, speaking of Canada, can I give a enthusiastic recommendation for Montreal again?
Okay.
Now, the weather there sucks. It's much more severe than here. I would never live there in the wintertime, or except for those 3 days in the summer when it's really nice. But it's a fine city. Now, of course, the problem is that there's too much French being spoken, but you ought to be used to being in a place where nobody speaks English. And number two, the French go to Montreal.
I understand.
And cheap as you.
What's the weed there?
WQAM, hello. Oh, great. QAM.
Hey, Pally.
Yes, Pally?
Out of all the Democratic senators and politicians and people in the world...
Hiya, Pally! Hiya, Pally!
Yeah.
In the past 2 elections, that's the best they could give us.
Yeah.
I'm sick about it. Can you do me a favor? Put his horse-faced daughter back up on the beaded curtain so I can take out some of
Oh. Man, I'm gagging on it right now. Woo! Oh, that victory speech by Bush at 3 this afternoon. Be sure and miss that. I'm sure he's going to say
Abu Ghraib
a couple of times.
Yeah.
You see, when you're dealing, look at that map, baby. Look at the map. Look at what America has become. You see, all of those days about once they let the blacks out of the cages, man, that was the end of the Democrats in the South. See, the Democrats in the South used to be people like George Wallace and Lester Maddox, virulent racists. That was Democrat. Robert Byrd, back in his Ku Klux Klan days, that was Democrat. And then once the Democrats and LBJ said, well, how about civil rights for them dark folks? Oh, we don't want nothing to do with that. And that's when they really start showing their true colors.
White.
Right, real pale white. So that's what you got now. You got the redneck states, which is not just the South, but all through that Midwest, you know, other than Illinois and Michigan. The upper North Midwest is just fine. You know, Michigan, we're living and breathing people. Right. Minnesota, Wisconsin, even Iowa ain't too bad. Mm-hmm. But once you get away from that and you start talking about them where they stick their finger in their nose all the way up to scratch where the brain is supposed to be, then you got a horse of a different ass.
You're listening to Neil Rogers exclusive
Rectum
on 560. Buttheads, it's the 1 to 2 hour.
Mama, you're going away. That orange jumpsuit gonna look so great. You're not like any prisoner who's come before. You're gonna give yourself a whole new decor. Martha, you got a number. They're gonna lock your door. Martha, your prison number 551-70054. 551-70054. 551-70054. 551-70054. Martha, it's such a big shame. 551-70054. Where you are going, they won't call you by your name. 551-70054.
One of Vernon's boyfriends, evidently. WQAM, hello.
Neil, how are you?
Okay.
As good as we can be on the most horrific news ever.
I'll listen. On what?
It's just the worst possible thing. I'm more shocked than I am angry right now.
Yeah.
But I really hope. And, you know, so the last caller before you switched over said, like, oh, is this the best that we could have done for the Democratic Party? I hope the Democratic Party wakes up and realizes something. It's time to stop trying to get centralized on the issues. We need to go as far left as possible. We need to really, truly polarize this country.
And they need to be have somebody with balls, okay? Not
Neil, love you,
Dean, baby. Okay, we want anybody named Dean, okay? Even Dean from Superman. That was his name.
Who?
Dean from Superman. Clark and Lois and Clark. Lois and whatever his name was.
Oh, Dean Cain.
Dean Cain. Well, see that name. I try to keep it out of my mind. 567. You know, born again Steve that adopted the 85 dark children that had like a phony unit and phony ass and phony eyeballs and phony baloney. Speaking of baloney, I bet you that fat lawyer of his is probably eating it right now. Anyway, speaking of that, join George and Miguel and Boca Brian today for a happy hour at 5 to 7 at Treasure Island. It'll put you in a much better mood, I guarantee you that, especially when Stephanie Evans starts shooting them bowling balls and billiard balls and God only knows what other balls all over the place.
Crystal balls.
She's crystal balls? Well, I'm not saying a word about that. I don't want to get like in between the two of you.
Yeah.
Anyway, at Treasure Island, right off the Palmetto, just north of the 122nd Street exit. Stop by for prizes and check out again. Stephanie Evans, who seems to be getting like regular work there a lot, which you'll enjoy her. She like ping pong balls, Kumquats, watermelons, too. 5670560, pound 560 on the, and probably even some gourds.
Al gourd.
Oh, yeah, when you see one of those pop out, you say, oh, my gourd. It'll drive you out of your...
Gourd?
Gourd. That's what should have happened 4 years ago. Bush should have gotten Al Gore, but he didn't. He did. See, that's the whole deal. This is the thing that makes this so unbelievable. I don't want to get you depressed, folks, but stop and think about this. Everybody who's even a little bit honest, I mean, like only even on alternate Mondays, knows that the election in 2000 was stolen right there. Just the ones that were cast, he won the election. Now, that having been said, then we go into a total illegitimate presidency. We got a guy who should be impeached based on taking the country to war based on a pack of lies, absolute blatant lies, and instead he gets reelected for another 4 years. And you wonder why the rest of the country looks at America and they like go like that? Yeah, like are you people on drugs or what? Oh, and speaking of that, you ain't seen nothing yet. The DEA is going to be knocking on your door. You got like a pin joint anywhere within a 5-block radius. Your ass is going up for 20 years, up the old river. WQAM, hello.
Hi, can I speak to Neil?
Speaking.
Neil, I'm calling here from conservative Sunrise, Florida, and I got to tell you, I used to be a Republican. I'm Cuban, and I changed my affiliation during the Gore days. And I got to tell you, I'm more scared today than I've ever been. I served in the first Persian Gulf War. I'm educated. I'm 34. Everything that you would think that Republicans stand for. And let me tell you, man, I'm scared. So talk some sense into us, Neil. Put us at ease a little bit because you're the only voice of reason around. See ya.
Okay, pal. Just remember one word. Drugs. 2 words. Good drugs. Right?
Well,
he said put us at ease. That's what you need today.
At ease.
Just roll a big fat one. Take the Herald. It ain't worth the crap anyway. Just roll up a big fat one in the Herald. As a matter of fact, why the hell not? Everybody seems to feel like we've taken the pipe. 5670560, pound 560 on the Verizon Singular Wireless lines. Yeah, you ain't going to be doing none of the medical marijuana stuff, okay? I see they passed a couple of those.
Like
fat chance of that. And fat chance on them dangerous Canadian drugs coming in either. You wait and see how fast he's going to turn tail on that one for his good buddies in the pharmaceutical companies. Mm-hmm. Wouldn't surprise me if before the end of the year they try springing Vioxx back on. They probably got a whole bunch of it left over. Oh, yeah, it ain't all that bad. Give it a try, okay? Well, discount it 10%. I think we had the right idea before. All the people who voted for Bush, we're going to track down the names, addresses, find out about, since these are supposed to be the family people. You know, the single people, they were for Kerry, but the married people, the couples, they were for Bush. Well, great. Well, your kids are the ones that are going to war.
Right. They can be the first-round draft choice.
And if you don't have any kids, we'll just send you instead. Oh, here's a bunch of fascists now bummed out in Homestead. Oh, in the homeland. I thought it said Homestead. You know, Homestead, where they voted for the Metro Rail to put it over the... Tell your family you're in a special place. I'm sad and dismayed. The Bible won and common sense is gone. We are doomed. I'm hoping they'll add a choice to the draft. Instead of just armed forces, perhaps Habitat for Humanity or forest firefighting instead of making these kids criminals and fugitives if they decide not to go to fight. I hope all these Cubans and stupid people are happy. That was great.
Yeah.
Oh, and not only that, but that Latin vote, baby, 40%, like I said before. Mm-hmm. How's that possible? What's with them beaners, man? I think they're hanging around with your people too much. Here's one that says the hole who faxed you said the world will see what it could be that far off. I don't get it. I hate those damn voting machines. I still think the fix was in Ohio and Florida where they needed it. Not in Ohio where that their friend from Diebold said the fix, that he was going to make sure Bush won. Because they control all the levers of power in this country, especially the media. What state was hit harder by the actions of this regime than Ohio? It's mind-boggling. P.S. Internet speed is awful. I lose chunks of airtime. What up with that? We're getting a lot of complaints about it.
Yes.
And evidently the powers that be there at QM don't want to do anything about it. You should start making some noise there about it.
To whom?
To anybody. To Muff, to Clarence, to somebody. They don't do anything else.
They've been told. They're told almost daily.
And?
That's
or talk to Fix It, okay? Comic relief. Talk to Fix It. Tell me to get a haircut. A joke. Can't complain about our engineering department. We don't have one. Here's Ray who says, here's a list I put together for all the parents that are going to send their children to the war. Bulletproof vest, $850. Night vision, $3,895. Gas mask, $400. Helmet, $200. Colt MiG AZ, $2,500. And, less bullets. And Humvee. Poor Ray.
That's the price of the unarmored Humvee, I want you to know.
See, here's one that says, a lot of faxes, man. Am I missing something here? Morals were the main concern of the voters, not Iraq, not the economy, not education, not jobs, not the environment. Morals.
Absolutely correct, sir.
That's right. And how many times did we hear that leading up to the election and 2-3 months before it? Oh, they're not really that much concerned about the issues. They're more concerned about a strong leader. A strong Christian. I guess it's okay to lie about tax cuts and how the middle and lower classes will benefit. I guess it's okay to lie about John Kerry's record or to intimidate and cow the media into submission. It's okay to lie about your concern for the environment. It's okay to lie about how outsourcing is good for the American people. It's okay to belittle others' religious beliefs. It's okay to ignore the rest of the world and isolate this country. Just so long as gays can't marry, by God. There you go. That's the important issue. Hate. Morals, they don't have a clue what morals are. It says, if it wasn't for the fact that millions of people voted for Kerry and or against Bush, I would say that this country deserves what it gets, except those people who voted for Kerry do not deserve Bush. Like I said, the country divided back in two again. Civil war. Huh?
Shouldn't have
We need another civil war. All the civilized people can live up in the north. They can handle the cold weather.
Sure. I'll move.
And, like I said, look at the map. Just look at the map. Look at that enormous swath of red, baby. The South and the Midwestern, the Rocky Mountain, all of that crap. It says, is there a way to have President Bush be president of the red states? He can set up house in Texas, sort of like this century's Jefferson Davis. Then the blue states can elect its own president. I'm all for it.
Yeah,
like I said,
they can
back to
have
the Civil
slavery
War
back.
days again, baby. Great idea. We can have John Kerry be president of the North, and George Bush can be president of the South. I likes it. What you need. They offer payments as low as $332 for every $100,000 that you borrow. And Guaranteed Mortgage Bankers not only will make your mortgage happen, but they'll even send you on a cruise. That's correct. After closing your loan with Guaranteed Mortgage Bankers in Deerfield Beach, you can choose one of 6 different 7-night cruises, compliments of Guaranteed Mortgage Bankers. Whether you're looking to buy a new home, an investment property, or just refinance that current mortgage, these are the folks you want to be talking to. 1-800-734-6616. On the web, you'll find them at GuaranteedMortgageBankers.com. That's Guaranteed Mortgage Bankers in Deerfield Beach, where they'll treat you just like family.
Get back, please.
Back in the day when someone done us wrong, we didn't take their crap.
No.
In Pearl Harbor, when the Japs dropped their bombs, we bombed them back. And now the Saudis, they hit us hard. And on our cards, our little flags wave. As that Saudi-loving retard points the bombers the wrong way. And I'm embarrassed to be an American where they follow Bush like sheep. The United States of arrogance, led by Bush and his family, greed they got this country. Ambling towards the darkest days in our history. I don't want to be a Pax American in the USA.
I'm dying over here.
What's a few thousand innocent lives? Stop living in the past. If you want that SUV to drive, you're gonna need more gas. It's the greatest country in the world. They train us to believe. And anyone who says that, obviously, can't afford to leave. And I'm embarrassed to be an American where we patriotically wave a flag in one hand with our head in the sand and blindly follow the powers that be. Apathetic. Watching stateful news on a 65-inch screen. Scratch your 5, everything's okay.
All right.
In the USA.
Look at that. Kerry to make a concession speech at Faneuil Hall in Boston, right across from Quincy Market. Sure hope he stops and gets some chowder.
Chowder.
Yeah, he was getting chowder yesterday. I think that's what put him under the edge.
Should have got.
Let's see. Mark faxes and says, Mark, formerly Chronic Mark, who's toned it down a little bit. Nice going, Mark. And this is really embarrassing. I mean, when Oklahoma is even more progressive than Florida, that's really embarrassing. Although I still think that Amendment 4 is going to finally pass if and when those absentee ballots ever get counted. I think they're fixing it up right now to make sure it doesn't win. I don't know what you're laughing about. That's the same way they did with the Metro fail. The same thing.
I know.
And the same way they did with that, they slipped the Mickey with that AA arena there downtown. That was a phony deal. If you're for it, vote no, and if you're against it, vote yes. They always pull that crap so they can confuse, and it's like a shell game that they play at Amoco. Speaking of gas, approximately 50 publicly owned fourth track.
Did you get that fax about MTV?
Yeah, but I don't get the same MTV that you get.
Oh, how sad.
What was on?
What is on is apparently all the road rules crews are trying to melt a block of ice, and everyone's wearing Speedos, practically naked.
Oh, no. How come I can't? Well, it'll be on here somewhere.
I'm going to go blind.
Yes.
I don't know.
All right. The competition's extended. You can go back to the other facts.
The specified types of gaming must be ratified by at least 4 Oklahoma Indian tribes, yada, yada, yada. The types of electronic gaming devices that private racetracks are authorized to conduct include electronic bonanza-style bingo, electronic instant, etc., and so on. Whatever. 2 other private racetracks, Will Rogers Downs and Blue Ribbon Downs, will be allowed to operate a maximum of 250 gaming machines. Gaming operations at the tracks are permitted up to 18 hours a day, not to exceed 106 hours per week. How do you like that? And talks about all the tremendous amount of revenue it's going to take in. But it also says here, meanwhile, the fate of slot machine gambling in South Florida was too close to call late Tuesday, according to the Palm Beach Post. The newspaper reported that with most of the state's precincts counted, there was less than a 0.5% difference between those supporting and opposing an amendment that would allow slot machines at dog and horse tracks and highlight frontons in Broward and Dade counties only. But again, the rest of the state, oh no, that's evil. Those evil one-armed bandits. Right. Screw all you Jews and Spicks in South Florida.
Montana's had gambling for years now.
Yeah. What a joke. Well, I mean, it's not a question of gambling. Florida's got more gambling than you can shake your ankle at. But the fact of the matter is, these people are they're spiting their own kids. That shows you what a bunch of trailer trash they really are. And then they talk about the I-4 corridor. You know how you spell I-4 corridor?
E-Y-E?
No, just like this. Like that. That's how you spell it. I-4 corridor. Rednecks.
It's a sin.
All this crap about, the people from the north that are coming down the Orlando area, and they're much more moderate and much more... bull crap. They're a bunch of Yahoo Bible-thumping rednecks. You kidding me? Orlando, my fat ass.
Oh, God.
Oh, God.
Well, there's Orlando. Haven't heard her no more lately, you know?
No.
Whatever happened to that child? Probably ran off with her boyfriend. Rick, formerly of Plantation, it says, soon to be future resident of Geneva, Switzerland, says, God help us all. As a native Floridian for the last 42 years, I'm physically sick about thinking of another 4 years of this drug addict, drunken, illiterate hole being in power once again. The next 4 years will be much worse than the last 4. How dumb is America? I would say Americans are the dumbest society in the world. Well, certainly of so-called westernized societies, Rick. Nobody's even close. I'm truly embarrassed to be one. In fact, I've taken a page from your book. I've booked myself, my wife, my 78-year-old father, a veteran of WW2, my 74-year-old mother, my mother-in-law, and my 2 dogs on a flight to Europe, where I'll be looking at properties for sale. I've scheduled appointments to see 6 properties there. We leave on Friday. Well, good luck to you, Rick. Good idea. I thought he was joking. We've all decided that America no longer represents us. We're no longer Americans. I would go far as to say that Americans are so ignorant, how ignorant are they, that if Osama bin Laden were to send effing nuclear bombs over and land in the middle of freaking Kansas, killing millions of people, the survivors would still say Bush.
Must be talking about impeachment, right?
Right, that must have been it. Here's a fact that says you've been talking about Jews for Hitler, and this morning when I went to Dunkin' Donuts for a cup of coffee, a very wealthy one was holding up the entire line trying to get a discount.
Oi!
When he realized that he couldn't get one, he said, thank God for Bush. If there's any consolation, it's the knowledge that they're going to drag his ass off to the showers along with me. Good going, you fat, greedy kike. You voted for people whose plan include your death so we can have salvation in Jesus Christ. What?
I'm sorry.
What, just because you said you fat, greedy kike, I thought that was kind of... I like that.
It was the delivery, I think.
Yeah. You fat, greedy kike.
You got another conference call going.
Good. Here's a fact that says, Neil, I tossed and turned all night thinking about this crappy election. I had a bad feeling early on that Bush would rob another presidency. Now we're going to be at war for the next 4 years at least. When Bush is done, we'll be paying over $5 per gallon of gas. He'll be one of the richest men in the U.S. of embarrassment. This will be my last election. My oldest daughter goes to college in 4 years. I'm moving to Canada, eh? Okay. Good for you. And last but not least, what Rocco says, after seeing the polls about the red states voting as they did and listening to the talking heads about the God Squatters, made me realize that those people are more self-absorbed and self-righteous than any of the Hollywood liberals or New York Jews ever were. These are the people with a bumper sticker, I'm not perfect, just forgiven. Chris Matthews was droning on about the red state values winning the turnout, and why the hell are South Carolina values more righteous than Vermont values. Matthews was saying the red staters feel like they're looked down upon by the liberals, elites, etc., so they turn out like hell to show the rest of us. Well, you know what? They're still trailer trash. Well, guess what? 4 years from now, we'll still be in a... That's right. That's exactly what I'm thinking, Rocco. 4 years from now, you will still be in a trailer, paying even more for gas than you are now, sending your kids to underfunded schools. Your wages will still be stagnant, and there will still be people having sex, having abortions, gambling, and laughing at you as they fly over your polluted ass from New York to L.A. Enjoy, you holes. Right. Yeah, Barack Obama in 08, baby.
There you go, Dick Cheney.
26 after 1 at 560 WQAM. Hey, if you have guests coming for the holidays, maybe you're wondering what to do with that dirty old carpeting in your home. Now's the time to get rid of that carpet, replace it with laminate or hardwood flooring from Laminate Designs. Visit Laminate Design Showroom at 8280 State Road 84 in Davie and choose from over 300 samples on display. Laminate Designs can have your beautiful new floor professionally installed in just about a week. Call 1-877-8-LAMINATE to set up a free, no-obligation in-home estimate. Laminate Designs carries all the well-known lines, including Wilson Art, Quickstep, and Pergo. If you call today and set up an appointment for your free estimate, tell them you want the WQM discount for an additional 10% off their already low installation price. Laminate Designs is located in Davie, just off I-595, between Pine Island Road and University Drive. Call 1-877-8-LAMINATE. That's 1-877-8-LAMINATE for Laminate Designs, the flooring company where service comes first.
You're listening to Neil Rogers exclusively on 560.
Why don't you go back to Canada, you Jew bastard?
Right. 132 at 560 WQAM. Smoke 'em if you got 'em. This fax I'm not going to read. It's too depressing about the exit polling and this one and that one and the die board. We know all about that, and there's nothing we can do about it. And if the fix is in, good luck to you, okay? Have a great day, eh? I mean, I don't want to denigrate the fact they took the time to write that long thing there, that piece, but leave me alone. On and on about Diebold and about Jeb Bush and about that fat-ass governor and about... We know all of that, okay? The fix is in. You live in a fascist, right-wing, ultra, born-again, Bible-thumping... In fact, wait till you hear this. This is really going to do it for you. Voters credited President Bush with protecting the country and trusted him more than Senator Kerry to take on the terrorists. That offset their displeasure with the economy in the course of the war in Iraq. Election day found the nation divided by all sorts of... Scared of Bush. That's why we haven't been bombed yet. Oh. Kerry was the choice of the 40% who felt less safe. The poll exploring the electorate's thinking was conducted, yada, yada, yada. Moral values, heavily emphasized by the president, edged terrorism in the economy as the top issue. Moral values. On the economy, voters are about as likely to say Kerry could be trusted as Bush, with many believing the economy has soured under Bush's leadership. Voters rated the nation's economy significantly worse than when they did 4 years ago, when 75% called it excellent or good. This year, a majority said the economy was poor, not so good, to win the crapper. Kerry carried the group who said the economy was the most important issue, as well as those who felt Iraq mattered. Well, like real issues, as opposed to some nebulous, Bible-thumping, hocus-pocus, moral values, whatever that is. Chris Coffin of Boston. Boy, I wonder if there's something symbolic about that. Chris Coffin of Boston, like about a third of Kerry voters, said his vote was mostly against Bush. He didn't get bin Laden. Iraq is a mess, said Coffin, a Boston hotel manager and a political independent. What has he done? Well, there was always Abu Ghraib. A majority said things were going badly for the U.S. in Iraq, and they heavily favored Kerry, yet slightly more voters approved the decision to go to war with Iraq than disapproved. Oh, that is just absolutely unbelievable. And, of course, they also showed a stat last night, I think it was 52 to 47, who believed that the war on terror and the war in Iraq were connected. They just can't say. It's a little bit too complicated to separate them in their minds. So they did a great job of drawing that link.
Karl Rove said so it must be true.
That's right. Bush carried white men, of course, those macho men, them tobacco-chewing macho men, them gun-slinging. He carried voters with family income of over 50 grand, of course, and weekly churchgoers, praise the Lord. Jesus. 3/4 of white voters who describe themselves as born-again Christians or evangelicals supported Bush. Let me read that again. 3/4 of white voters who describe themselves as born-again Christians or evangelicals supported Bush. Those white evangelicals, a crucial voting bloc for the president, represented about a fifth of all voters. Their top issue was moral values. Kerry was the overwhelming favorite of black voters, had a big lead among Hispanics, though Bush improved his performance with that key group. Kerry had a lead among women, another key group of Democratic supporters. Young voters supported Kerry over Bush by about 10 points, but the expected surge in their participation this year was not by 10 points. Besides, it goes on about the survey audio. There you go. Well, that's right. Osama's afraid of Bush, and we better keep him in there, otherwise Osama's going to bomb America. We sure don't want that happening.
Bush will stop him like he did the first time.
That's exactly right. He'll probably read another chapter of My Pet Goat if you don't watch it.
And he'll catch him like he did the first time.
Exactly. And then God only knows what he'll do with him. And then he'll start whipping them people into shape at places like Abu Ghraib and Gitmo all over again. Right. And, of course, the Saudis are glad he's in the end because they're going to Gitmo, too.
The Howard Stern Show. Neil Rogers, mornings and middays. And sports around the clock. 560 QAM.
We're about 10 years too late. Yeah, back when things were great. Clinton was president. OJ was innocent. But we could still see friends. And do the then butt head. Barely had an internet. And there was no spam yet. Never heard about Bin Laden. Wall Street was always in the black. We still care about Madonna. And not about sneak attacks. And all that great music. Yeah, you could take your pick. Like it was sent from God. No cell phones, no ringtones, no iPods, played Oasis or Hootie. That Brandy was a cutie. There was Alanis Morissette and Julius split from love. And the Pumpkins were smashing. The Beatles tried to catch him, but nothing quite feels right since 1995. 1995. You know Mariah and Whitney, they beat the pants off Britney. We still had some geezers, but also there was Weezer, and we had Sophie B. Hawkins. Yeah, she was good for gawking. I wonder if she survived past 1995.
I'm dying over here.
141 at 560 QM. We got the Mad Dog coming up at 2. What am I screaming about?
I don't know.
Well, because I just ran in the other room and got the yesterday's Toronto Sun. You're a right-wing rag, but I get all the papers here. And in the middle, there's a 2-page spread. Electoral College 101. The Dummy's Guide to the Election. And it's got, the reds and the blues from the last election. And then it's got, it's got them red and blue based on the polling. Let me see if they were right or not. Well, they had Ohio, Florida, Pennsylvania, Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Iowa, undecided New Hampshire. I guess that's fair. And didn't I tell you yesterday that New Jersey would go to Kerry? Didn't I tell you that?
You did.
It was a head fake. That's what they described it as last night. All that crap about, Bush is going to win New Jersey. No chance. Wasn't even close. But anyway, you look at this, and they have the states colored. You know, the blues and the reds, and then the whites for the undecided. It's just amazing. It is staggering. And all that crap about the left coast, all the right-wingers are about the left coast, all them Hollywood pinko commie, And it's true. Washington, Oregon, California, and Hawaii, which may be a little bit far to the left, but all of those out there on the west coast, they're all, and of course Alaska's up there by the North Pole. They're too frigid to have any brains. Nobody in their right mind would be.
They want to drill and cut and mine and stuff.
Anyway, on the west coast, you got all the Democratic states. In the north, all of New England, Kerry won every state, including New Hampshire. New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Delaware, Maryland, Michigan, Wisconsin, Illinois, Minnesota, narrowly lost Iowa. But there's Ohio sitting right there. There's freaking Ohio. That Diebold thing really does start making you wonder, you know. But, hey, listen, we don't want to start crying sour grapes. Let him steal a few more elections, and by then we'll be in a box anyway. It won't make any more difference. Although I think after stealing this one, we may be there sooner than we think. Here's a fax that says, I'm tired, Neil. We had the commander and chimp back in office, and both houses had GOP gains yesterday. Well, it says we're going to be eating elephant caca for the next 4 years. In fact, maybe we'll be all sent to Al-Caca. What's worse is he didn't steal this one. My fellow Americans were brainwashed into voting for this potato head. Oh, don't knock potatoes, man. Some of them are pretty good. It's unpatriotic. Is it unpatriotic to still have your country's principles and want to see your government destroyed? I'd even take real Republicans in office over these neo-cons bent on spreading democracy, something that must grow organically like it once was in this country, not installed like a new printer cartridge. Very good. I love that. You can't install democracy like a printer cartridge. Beauty. I can only imagine what Rush, Drudge, and Sean Hannity were doing to themselves and each other, sitting around Fox Nazi News on a big screen TV every time Bush's electoral votes went up. Pass the lotion, Matt. Oh, God. Can you imagine the cluster...
It puts the lotion in the basket.
Yeah. Now it says, if you'll excuse me, I feel the barrel of a gun in my back. Cute. That's really cute. Mm-hmm. 5670560, pound 560 on the Verizon and Singular Wireless lines. You see, we're keeping our chin up. We're doing the old Kathy Willis routine. We play a mean chin ball on this show. We're not going to get our heads down and get all bent out. You know, it's tragic.
What's the point? We'll sing all the way to the shower.
That's right. We'll whistle a cute tune. If we can think of one. That's cute. Or we'll just make some kind of cutesy, folksy sounds like that on the way out. WQAM, hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I had a bad feeling yesterday that this was going to happen today.
Yeah.
So usually in these times, to get me a little bit down, I sing my song of comfort, which I'm going to pass to you.
Yes.
And it goes as follows. La 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 la, bluebird on my shoulder. La 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 la, refreshing mango drink.
That was great. And you see how timely that was my psychic powers again. How did I know he was just talking about singing a little tune?
We needed a little.
He's a real good homosexual. He's not necessarily pro-homo. I didn't know there was any such thing as being pro-homosexual.
Well, aren't you?
Well, there's Ted Kennedy, by the way.
Ted Kennedy's primary challenge. This is the fourth Massachusetts Democrat who has sought the presidency and failed in the last 25 years. Ted Kennedy, Michael Dukakis,
right, Paul Saunders,
no aspersions on the people of Massachusetts. At least they have the Boston Red Sox curse ended. But we may invent a new curse.
Curse, you are a curse at CNN. Okay, Jeff Greenfield. Jeff Mealy-Mouth Greenfield, who never said anything in his life more controversial than hello and goodbye. Get lost. WQAM, hello.
Yeah, I want to talk to Neil.
Speaking.
Hey, Neil. Oh, God, so embarrassed. Bush and cokehead Mel Martinez in office. And
yeah, and that's something.
Oh, man. Just embarrassed to be an American. Wanted to share with you.
I'd rather have Jose Jimenez than Mel Martinez any day.
No, and Bush, you know what I've noticed, too? That all the people that are uneducated, all the uneducated people voted for Bush yesterday. Everybody that talks that has some type of education, is well-read, some type of knowledge, Kerry supporters. But, I mean, I guess there's not enough of us in this nation, so go ahead and take the nation for Kerry.
That is correct. I'll be looking for it at the border, Pally, okay? Bring some good crap. 5670560, pound 560 on the Verizon and Singular Wireless lines. The poll ain't looking too promising as far as your mood. Try to cheer up a little bit, okay? It's only going to be another 4 years of hell. It'll be over before you know it. Which applies to your feelings about the election result yesterday? 1071. Oh, look at that. Who's that? Is that David Boyd standing there in the back? Who is that? No. That must be some Red Sox player.
I sat down with John a year ago, and I said, John, you've got this beautiful...
Is that like some celebrity, some athlete, some dumb jocks? I have no idea who that is.
Clown.
Oh. 1,071 votes. What's your feeling about the election? Pissed off, 362. Suicidal, 263. Sad and depressed, 108. It ain't too great. Glad it's... No, wait a minute. 185. Glad it's over, 108. Ecstatic, 65. Pleased, 33. What result, 32. And indifferent, 29. No give a schmidt. I don't have any idea who that is.
For them is they really believed in that last week.
Now, let me ask you one other thing. What's that? Why should I care?
I don't know.
I don't.
I'm going back on TV.
WQAM, hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
How's it going, man?
All right.
Listen, I was just thinking about how this guy ran, you know, as far as 9/11 goes, trying to get to my point. You know, New York, New Jersey, and D.C. were the most affected by 9/11, right?
Right.
Yet they went for Kerry. You know, I mean...
Overwhelmingly, right.
You know, and another thing, what about this senator that I heard about that he's against homosexuals and women that have children outside of wedlock, you know, not being teachers? Have you heard about that one?
Yeah.
Where's that at?
That's is that the one in? Well, there's like 4 of them like that. They're all the same.
Oh my God, man! Where's this country
South
going
Dakota.
to? You know, I mean, it's like
hell in a handbasket, baby.
Oh my God.
South Carolina.
Anyways, man, I guess I'm going back to Argentina. That's my country, so not like that's any better, but you know.
Arrivederci, amigo.
All right, man. Have a good one.
By the way, say hi to some of them Nazis down there.
Right, not that.
Oh, come on. There ain't nothing wrong with Buenos Aires.
Huh? Sounds muy buena.
Probably is a fine place, Buenos Aires. I don't know, I've never been there. It's
certainly
too far.
can't have more Nazis than
one of those places, if you're going to go down there, that's right. And the Nazis there are so much better. That's what Jaime Ross said. The Nazis here are much more benign as opposed to the malignant ones we got now that are running the country. Very, very sad. Fascism. You see, it had to happen much more in a much more different way. Mm-hmm. Although in 2000 they were able to go ahead and steal the election in broad daylight. Everybody knew it. And they did it in cahoots with the so-called Supreme Court, and their token Thomas on there, and Scalia and Rehnquist, who's dying over there. And it happened right there in broad. And the media, you see, the American media, when the history of this chapter of history goes down in the book, trust me when I tell you this, the American media is going to take the brunt of the criticism because they're the ones who have been the co-conspirators for their embedding in Iraq, and they've been in bed with them all along.
Yeah, but
so they're covering up for all of this crap. We never heard one more word about Valerie Plame. We never, all of a sudden, the whole thing about
Abu Ghraib,
that all dried up. About the secret meetings Cheney had with his so-called energy people, with Kenny Boyle and all of those crooks. Nothing. You people in the media, man, if anybody ought to be out of business, if anybody ought to be in jail, you people have abdicated your responsibility. You've totally sold out. You're just a bunch of pitchmen, carnival barkers, showmen, like that Crossfire crap they got on there. Now, stake over Crossfire. You know, even Novak, even the Nazi that he is. Just another clown in the circus. That's all he's turned into. And that silly queen with the bow tie, and James Carville with his bald head, who's as illiterate as the day is long, he was talking last week one day on there about, he kept repeating it, $200 million in care consumption. That would be bad for business. You grave robbers, you lunatics, you peddlers of puke. 152 at QA. Am I getting my point across?
No, say it again.
I'll work on it tomorrow. Hey, now's the time to save like never before at Armstrong Ford Homestead, where they absolutely must clear out all remaining 04s to make room for the 2005s. You'll save like never before at all remaining 04s in stock ready for immediate delivery. And all the 05s are in and ready to roll out right now. When in doubt, they're going to roll them out. Plus, for a limited time, get 0% financing on any of the following: Explorers, Escapes, Focuses, Tauruses, and Mustangs. Certain restrictions apply. The lots at Armstrong Ford Homestead are jammed with more 05s coming in every day, and they're cutting prices like crazy to save you a lot of cash. Armstrong Ford offers more value to you. Like I always tell you, when you buy your Ford at Armstrong Ford, you'll get their exclusive tires and batteries for life program. So if you've been wanting a new car but been putting it off, wait not another second. David Rich and the staff at Armstrong Ford Homestead will guarantee you the best price anywhere. And don't forget, because they're locally owned and operated and want to make you a customer for life, they'll treat you well, just like family. And I guarantee, I bet you Greg and the Water Nazis life.
Sovereignty means that. It's sovereign. You've been given sovereignty and you're viewed as a sovereign entity. And therefore, the relationship between the federal government and tribes is one between sovereign entities.
Right. Let's give Mad Dog a few seconds back that we stole from yesterday. What do you say?
Your vote's automatically calculated by computers at the GOP. Manipulated this time. Don't let the fascist neocons screw us again.
Not a lot of time, just a few seconds, I would say.
About 30, man. The brother governor that's running Florida, no doubt's got another plan. Get your vote done this time. Don't let the fascist neocons screw us again. triangle bush wins short of good, and Coulter snuffles my loins with gonorrhea. The Jews killed Christ.
Jesus Christ.
The Jews killed Christ. Bush is appointed by God. Back, in your darker than round, then your vote will get thrown out. Round back, some roll hard votes, swinging closet babs. Will it won't matter who or what you vote, like it's rigged for Bush too. Winning a landslide this time, don't let the fascist neocons screw us again.
Miami, Fort Lauderdale. I am above the law.